class. Today we are going to be talking about things that rot your brain. Teacher, I hear the Ron Taylor report will rot my brain. Is that true? What a tool. Well, that's correct, Susie. If you listen to the Rob Taylor report, it will rot your brain. Therefore, you must dive under your desk, grab the back of your head, and do the duck and cover maneuver. Let's see this example. Mama, I want to watch the Rob Taylor report. Timmy, no! It's too late. You've been warned. Children should not watch the Rob Taylor report. Somebody please think of the children!
Hey, everybody. I'm glad you all could join me here. And it looks like daylight where Michaela is in Las Vegas. You are lit up like the 4th of July, girl. Can you hear us?
We can't hear you. It's so loud.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's muted because she's standing on the Fremont Street, where they have like the big overhanging light show and sound show going 24/7. I mean, I can see why she can't hear us, because it's meant to be chaotic.
It's loud. It's loud even not on the holidays. So can you imagine what it's like on the holidays there? So she can't even hear us. But
they're in like a tunnel of colors.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there?
No. Is that a road? Are they like on a street?
Yeah, that's a Fremont.
Yeah, they're on Fremont Street, and they basically they've covered Fremont Street from sidewalk to sidewalk on top of the buildings in this big arched like TV display where they've got all this stuff, flashing and blinging and playing, and so they basically tried to take Fremont Street and turn it into a viable gambling area, especially when like every casino and hotel was like going into 5,000 rooms, and the New York and the big black pyramid, and so Fremont Street had to do something to stay somewhat usable. So they covered the street with a whole bunch of lights, and I'm like, wow, it's so distracting. It's like I don't have to go gamble. Money's just falling out of my pockets because it's so distracting there.
Jane Brown says, lucky girl. Yes, you are a lucky girl. And let's see. Ashley says, hello from Roseburg. Hello, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
Always good to see you.
Hello, Roseburg. Yeah.
And James McHenry says, are they in Las Vegas? Why, yes, they are in Vegas. Amanda Hawker says, hey, guys. Hello, Amanda. Hey, and Jeff Pete says, Sin City. LOL.
Yeah. I had to leave since I lost all my money. So it's Since City.
Hey, Michaela.
Hey, Rob, there's not a quiet place in Vegas. I'm really sorry. I'm like hiding in a tunnel next to a steakhouse right now, so I can hear you a little bit.
Well, that looks like fun. It looks like you and Steve are having a blast out there.
We are. Steve's a great husband. He took me here for my birthday, and I'm not telling you how old I am.
Okay. Is it warm there? How warm is it?
Actually, it's not freezing. It's way better than Oregon. I think it was like 70 today, and it's probably like maybe 60 outside right now. It's not bad.
Oh, wow.
Damn. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Happy 25th birthday, Michaela.
Yes, happy 25.
Yeah, happy 25.
Thank you.
Well, is there anything you wanted to tell us or update us on if you get a chance?
Yeah, so I'll do a quick update just because I know it's a little disruptive how loud it is in the background here. But we have figured out our schedule for the Scott Pressler tour for Oregon, which is great. I'm not going to share everything tonight because we're still locking down our main events. But I will tell you, high level, the plan is we're going down I-5. We're making a loop up the coastal highway. So if you are in a location off of I-5 or on one of the coastal highway stops, we are going to be bringing Scott Pressler to do visits to the pop-ups. Hopefully people will be gathering signatures for NVVM. And and we'll be having Scott stop off at all of those pop-ups, and then we're going to be doing some bigger events. And I've asked, actually, Rob Taylor and Denesa, hi Denesa, and Marty and Chris to host an event in Coos County. And so I'm hoping you guys have a little bit more information on that. Another one of our big stops is going to be in Roseburg. We're going to end out the event in the Portland area, hopefully have something really big there. And our tour dates are going to be January 19th through January 24th. So get ready. Scott's coming.
That's exciting. We're pretty excited. Las Vegas excited. That's how excited.
Yeah.
It is pretty exciting here.
Yeah, I sat in on the huddle on that one, and while they were discussing where to go and all the places they're going to hit and how to get all this stuff done in the 5 to 6 days of these years. And it was pretty entertaining because at one point we were covering way more of the state, but it was also like, and they're going to be driving like 6 hours a day. And I'm like, oh, that'll just be killed. They narrowed down the number of spots. At one point, it was coming through 5 and then through like Brookings and then up to. So it's like, okay, it's Roseburg, then do some stuff down like Grants Pass area, and then back up to Tuesday, up the coast, and eventually back to Portland where they'll have big stuff going on. So that's what I got it narrowed down to, and it was it covers a lot of places, and it's a timeline that won't estimate anyone. So
I don't know if it's just me, but for on my end, Marty's getting quieter and quieter.
Oh, really?
It's Michaela's. Michaela, I just turned off your mic. Go ahead. Michaela, I turned your mic back on.
Oh, okay. I know it's super loud here. I'm sorry, you guys. I was having a hard time hearing Marty too. Oh, Steve says hi, by the way.
Hey, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
But we'll keep watching the show. I don't want to interrupt the audio too much, but we love you guys. Love from Vegas. We'll be back in Oregon soon, fighting to end vote by mail. So thanks for having fun.
You have fun for
Thanks,
us
guys.
too.
Okay. Bye, you guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
Don't dress up like Elvis.
Well, let's see. I had Denesa mic'd. How you doing, Denesa?
I'm doing good. I'm finally back in the country here after seeing a lot of stuff in India that I've opened my eyes to the world. I really like Oregon now.
You don't want to move to India?
The pollution was so bad. I came back with a kind of a cough because the fog is pollution there. They don't have fog. It's pollution fog. So it was really bad. It's probably one of the most polluted. We flew into Delhi and it was really polluted. Yeah. But I'll have to say though, I think there's still a caste system there and that I could see, but I also saw a lot of beautiful architecture and a lot of different religions that I've never been exposed to. So those people are looking for hope too, just as much as we are looking for hope here in the United States.
Good.
So
it's
anyway, I had a little bit of break from politics, which sometimes you need that to charge your batteries. And I got back just in time for the meeting, the executive meeting at the Coos Bay Library here on Wednesday on the 17th. And I guess I need to go back on vacation after that. But, the nice thing, when I was gone, you guys all stood up for me and Chris at the court system here in Coos County. I wasn't there to do any handoff of cash or anything to the judge or the clerk or anything like that. I was out of country. I was out of country from November, I think it was 24th all the way to December 15th. I didn't tell too many people I was out of country. I had that planned for a long time, and just that court date came on at that time, which I wasn't around. So I had good representation from. Go ahead. What were we gonna say?
Oh, I was going to say, so you weren't actually bribing the most liberal judge in Oregon, right?
No. No, I just happened to pay for a very good attorney, Steve Jonkis, who also has been representing Judicial Watch in the state of Oregon, trying to get our election, cleaning up our voter rolls and that kind of stuff, and their fight through all the courts here in Oregon, which has been painful. But he's had some successes, and there's not too many judges, too many attorneys out there that actually represent us conservative people. And I actually was encouraged by Michaela to hire him. And so I did so, and I somehow I got Chris involved, and he's been more involved in this court case than I have. He is the vice chair. I'm just the delegate right now. And, they're making it out that both Chris and me are fighting this with big dollars to fight the recall. And they're missing the point. The point has always been, Chris and I have been trying to make sure we fill all the PCP positions. Chris wasn't even a PCP, being the vice chair. He didn't even have that credential. And, we're fighting for the PCP, so we have fair representation through the whole county. And if we go back to voting in person, in precincts, which since 81, we've gone to a precinct level. We're going to need precinct people from both parties, any party that's out there, to make sure these elections are fair. Instead of right now, we've got it at the clerk level, who is being shackled by the Secretary of State on how they're going to run our elections by these machines.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to get ahead of the game, and so far we've been winning in court because we feel that they're not following the rules on the bylaws. They're not wanting to listen to the people in the groups. They're closing the meetings down. They're trying to keep these groups very small so they can control them. And we've got people, quite honestly, that I don't think their ears are closed. They're just listening to a few people telling them the wrong stuff. And I wish, this whole thing has been about the PCPs and getting representation. It has not been, quite honestly, it's a pain in the ass to be on the executive board. It's a pain in the ass. It's been a battle for a long time. And we did gain some ground. That is true. We did get some PCPs elected at this last executive meeting, but they should have all been. Yeah. They should have all been. And we've got people, just a couple examples of things that it just blew my mind. That, my dad, Dennis Beetham and Janet Beetham, they signed a cell phone. They're not happy with what's going on, especially with the dollars that they've contributed to the ORP, to a lot of Republican candidates. And
hey, Denesa, hold on, Denesa. I'm going to. Okay, I had to silence your mic for a minute because we're getting a lot of reverb back from you, and it's getting difficult. Are you on your phone?
I'm on my phone.
Okay.
If possible, if you have headphones to put them in, that would alleviate the feedback. Sorry.
Okay, I'll work on that. I'll work on that. Just a second. I'll go off for a second, okay?
All right. Yeah, if you can find some earplugs or some earbuds.
I want earplugs. but
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I love this audio stuff. I gotta get off of it first.
Okay, I muted her. So we're going to get that, hopefully some earplugs for Denesa. She's going to work on that. I want to go through some of these comments. Amanda Hawker, who was one of the people who did not get chosen, what was it, Wednesday night? 15 out of 50 people got chosen to be PCPs. This is after Michael was told by the judge that there's no reason to deny anybody. And she says, I'm so sick of these assholes making Denesa the bad guy. I'm so sick of that too. What do you make of that, Chris? Why Denesa?
I don't know. They have such a weak argument that they have to rely on crazy accusations. I mean, I heard Wednesday night probably 10 times at least the accusation that Denesa did not pay an attorney, but paid a judge off. You believe that? Like, they are alleging that Denesa paid a judge without any evidence whatsoever.
Right.
And then seconds later accuse me of slandering Michael. And I say, like Michael, the chair, Michael Brainard. You know, it's like, well, what? Describe the slander. What was it about? Give me some sort of context. And they can't. They have nothing. They're going to accuse us of slander while literally baselessly claiming that Denesa paid a judge. Also just bashing him for being a far left liberal. And, you know, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I have no idea, but it shouldn't matter. He's a judge. You know, and like, we live in a world where it does sometimes matter, right? Like, I do get that. I live in reality. But I was in that case. I was in that room. Technically, yes, I'm a biased party, but I can be pretty unbiased. And he didn't help us out. He didn't. If anything, he actually, I'm pretty sure he voted in their favor. He ruled in their favor. He gave them an out, a big out. And he chose to be very temperate in his decision. He just essentially blocked the recall until there's a trial, but he didn't intervene beyond that. Because Michael said he was going to do a meeting. He said he was going to do this Wednesday meeting and said we would be voting on PCP applications. And a decent part, maybe a whole hour of that hearing was spent on what are the requirements for this position. And there are very, very, very few requirements. And then beyond that, the bylaws specifically state there cannot be any more requirements. Right. So the requirements are you have to be a registered Republican 180 days prior to the filing deadline, which is March 10th. So I believe that was September 11th.
I'm going to play the last few minutes of what the judge said. I'm going to play that right now.
The safest thing to do and avoid some of the concerns that I'm thinking about and pausing about is to say there'll be no recall election of the plaintiffs until after the trial date we have scheduled in March, which I think is March 10, I believe, or something like that. Double check that. Maybe you folks, Mr. Juck, do you know, is it March?
I don't know that I have that. You're
it
readily available, Your Honor.
Yeah, it's fine. I
believe the trial date is set for March 10th. Same day as the filing deadline, ironically.
March 10. So no recall election of the plaintiffs between now, no earlier than March 10. I'm not going to go beyond that today because it sounds to me like there's a couple directions the parties can go. Mr. Brainerd has indicated to the court that on sometime in December coming up, there's going to be a meeting of the executive committee to consider these 45 or so applications that are pending to be PCPs. And that may eliminate an issue the court's going to have to struggle with later. The concern that I have, obviously, is if he's stacking the deck against, if he's stacking the deck at that meeting, that obviously poses a problem for the folks that want to be PCPs. But I don't see any reason, Mr. Junkus, that, I mean, your client has clearly filed a petition requesting a meeting. I would think, and I don't know this for a fact, but I would think that even if the vote is thumbs down at this executive committee meeting, that you folks could insist upon a full meeting of the committee and take these applicants back to the full committee to take a look at. I don't think the ruling at that initial meeting would be binding upon you folks taking a look at it at the full meeting. So I don't think that prejudices you if it's thumbs down. At least that's my thought.
A possible scenario, Your Honor, is that they could approve some who then are voting members of the entire Central Committee,
Right.
And now they've stacked the deck on the Central Committee with their friends who are going to vote on further PCPs. I don't know. I'm speculating, but I tell you that what I've learned in this case is that there's a lot of manipulation that's going on.
Wouldn't you be able to bring that to the court's attention at the trial, saying there were 45 applicants, they all met the criteria, and they were denied?
I would certainly bring that to
Coming up in March.
Of course, we're not going to be a happy camper if we find that if they meet the qualifications. I just can't think that there'd be a basis to turn them down. I mean, they're willing to serve. They want to participate, but we'll have to cross that bridge as it comes later. I'm not going to go.
So there you have it from the judge's mouth, what he said, and there's no denying it. There's no reason that those people should have been denied. And somebody is going to have to go back, look that judge in the eye and say, hey, Your Honor, we said F you. What do you think of that? Huh? What do you think?
And they'll have to be under cross-examination. They'll have to.
Yeah, I mean,
they'll have to be under cross-examination.
Yeah, cross-examination, and it's also, you're under oath. You can't perjure yourself in court. You can't just stand there and lie like a couple of people have been accused of doing. We won't name any names, but we know who they are. And it's like, the judge is only going to put up with so much. And if the judge said, okay, well, if you had 50 people that are qualified and you didn't, allow them to be approved, then there's no place for them to stand. They've got no place to stand. I mean, and it's, it's kind of a sad state of affairs when they start using the standard liberal mentality of, where they're accusing us of crimes they are committing. When they say, oh, Chris is slandering someone, and it's like, well, it's, Denesa gets slandered all the time. Chris gets slandered all the time. They said Denesa paid off the judge. No, she paid off Jonkus. Jonkus is a high-priced lawyer, and and I'm working with Jonkus on the Vaughn and Loomis case. I think Michaela's working with Jonkus on something, and of course we got Denesa working with Jonkus on something. And it's like, lawyers cost money, and good lawyers cost a lot of money. And the problem is finding lawyers that will actually take conservative cases are almost impossible, because of the very simple fact that if you do, chances are they're going to go after your law license. and they're going to get you pulled from the bar. So there's a lot of lawyers that just won't even take these types of cases. So, a big thumbs up to Joncas for doing this. And, but the fact that
he's a great lawyer, but he wouldn't have anything without the facts and without the chronological recorded history back from, much earlier in the year, but let's just say starting in May, where I stood up with 8 applications in my hand at a meeting with those 8 people present and nominated them to be appointed as PCPs when we had 150 vacant positions open, and I was asking for 8 of them to be filled. That is the genesis of all of this. This is where the paths diverged, is back in May, and that happened many, many months before a recall petition was presented. So Joncas had that behind him, right? You have a good lawyer and some really solid facts. But I put up on the screen here the ORS. Like, this is the key here.
Yep.
Like, this is the law. And whether Michael and company like it or not, this is the law. And I didn't even know this law until like the middle of the summer. It's just kind of one of those laws that like you don't really need to know about because it makes sense. It's kind of like you don't have to know what the law says about murdering people because you just know that you're not supposed to. Or like, I don't know what the law says about stealing, but I definitely know that it's not something good to do. Right. So this is like one of those things when you're involved in a political party, like you grow up knowing that that party is meant for the people who identify with it. And you know that you are free to change your party preference at any time and be a part of whatever party fits you. And then they're supposed to represent you, and they're supposed to allow you to participate and represent the widest geographical margin and the widest probably political margin within that party. So it says, you need to ensure the widest and fairest representation of party members in party organization and activities, and adopt procedures that assure the fair and open participation of all interested party members. That is so clear. I could take that into an elementary school class and read it, and they would know what that means. If you pulled out the word like political party and put it in pizza party, they would know that it meant that everyone's allowed to come and eat the pizza if they want the pizza, and they would be allowed to be part of the decision-making process on what toppings we order. That like toddlers could figure this out. It's that crystal clear. And this is the key, and they're violating this. And the judge has ruled 3 times, indicating that he knows that they are violating this. And this isn't a criminal law. I don't believe. I don't think this is like something they would go to the jail for.
No.
I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know that necessarily like the consequences for breaking this, but I'm sure there are some. There's got to be. There's laws for a reason.
Right.
So
that is interesting. I wonder what is the punishment for that. There may be a fine for this. He may be facing a fine. I really don't know what anyone gets for this. Maybe it's just a civil violation, and whatever the plaintiff has suffered is what they get.
And like they're definitely violating the bylaws, like several parts of them. But like this is beyond me, how they think that they can just completely disregard this law, that it looks like it's been around since 1975. This isn't some new one that they've never heard of.
And they don't have hardly
insane.
any laws regulating bylaws for political parties. In fact, that's part of the reason we're in court, is because we need the court to interpret the bylaws, because we read it one way, they read it another. And there are very few laws that regulate the bylaws, and this is one of them that does that, and it's pretty broad. All it's saying is that everyone should be allowed to participate. I mean, how sad that we have a law for this. It shouldn't even be a law, because that should be the rule. Isn't that kind of like the golden rule?
I mean, it's why would you have this party and not be trying to get a bunch of people involved to help you? I mean, we need an army to fight this battle. Look at what we're up against.
Right.
I don't understand why in the world. And if you take this in any other context, it makes zero sense, and there would be major lawsuits. Could you imagine if a city council had 5 out of 7 vacancies, and the city put out a notice saying we want applications, and one person applied or 2 people applied for 5 vacancies? Let's say 2 people applied for 5 vacancies, and they only took one of them and not the other, even though they met all requirements. There'd be a lawsuit. You would be sued. You'd have to take both people. You'd have no choice but to take both people. It's insane. Again, if they met all requirements.
Jeff asked the question that everyone's been asking, and I know the answer, but I want you to tell him. He says, well, I want to hear the reason they were denied.
I mean, there really wasn't a reason. They refused to give it. They didn't want to talk about any of that. They tried to do it on a secret ballot so no one would know what they voted, but they don't realize that like math is a thing. So the reasons, I mean, they talked a lot about Rob, you know, that you're scary and disruptive, but the judge kind of talked about it in the clip that you played, but he talked about it many times at the trial. The thing was like 3 hours long, and he talked about the requirements, and good behavior is not a requirement. Right. A clean mouth is not a requirement. Being a Christian is not a requirement. These were all things that were brought up that are problematic. I mean, they didn't specifically say because you're not a Christian, I will throw that, but it was heavily implied, you know, that essentially you're just not their quality of a human, right? And that's not in the requirements. And it specifically says you can't have any more requirements than Republican for 180 days before March 10th. That's it. So those were the reasons, were a bunch of crap about how Rob and some other people scare them and that they're afraid of you. And Rob, have you ever hit any of them?
No.
Have you ever assaulted anyone in their presence or threatened to hit them or harm them in any way?
Nope.
No, I didn't think so. So it must be your words. It must be your words that are so hurtful. So I don't really
They're
get that.
sharp and they're pointy, and I say them real loud so they can put people's eyes out, and they don't realize this because those sharp and pointy words that I use.
I'll try and say it in a way that I'm not really bashing them and kind of looking onward. I just hope that someday we have leaders of the Coos County Republican Party that are not hurt by words, and they have thicker skin, and they might hear words that make them upset or concerned, but they would be so laser focused on progress, on winning, on representing the 15,000+ Republicans in Coos County, and they'd be so focused on getting good people in, and I don't mean good like people who don't curse. I mean good as in like solid, motivated, inspiring patriots who have a fight in them. Those are the people we need involved. That should be the focus. So when you have these little, you know, whatever you want to call them, if you got people, they're yelling at you, they telling you that you're not doing a good job, and they say bad, whatever, just like channel it out. You know, these people, I just wish, I don't know. I don't want to like focus on them. I want to focus on like, I just hope that someday we have those leaders. And I know we have those leaders. They're being prevented, like Ivan here in the comment.
His comment's hilarious, though.
Well, his 100%. No, it's not. It's not. See, this is the thing. What happens here, because this is how manipulation works, by the way. This is how narcissists and other people operate. They get you to start checking yourself and thinking you did something wrong. And I know you're probably just joking, Ivan, but people are seriously doing this, right? Like they'll say to me, like, Chris, you know, you got to stop with the personal attacks. And it's like, personal attacks? I don't know any of these people personally. I didn't grow up here. I didn't go to high school with them. They're not my cousins. I do not know them. So if you want to call it an attack, fine, but it's a professional attack. And it's really not an attack. It's a critique. So please stop saying personal attacks. None of us, I don't think, are making personal attacks. I mean, occasionally, maybe some people have said some off-color things. Emotions run high sometimes when we're being manipulated and outcast this ridiculously, like Denesa being told she bought off a judge. But these are professional critiques. They really are. If you're going to put yourself in that position, you know, you're going to get critiqued, and it's not, and you shouldn't take it personally.
And everything is being blown out of proportion on purpose because since they have no argument and they have no real reason for why they want to keep the party as small as possible and have it their own little tea party with all of their good little friends who go to the good little church and all agree and sing kumbaya and sit around eating s'mores and hot chocolates and stuff like that. And it's like, we have business that we have to conduct. We have things we got to get done in Coos County. We got to get good candidates. We got to get people out. We got to get people out and voting. And having 6 or 7 people sitting around, with their thumbs up their noses ain't going to get it done. And the problem is the people that do want to get it done are being kept from getting it done. I mean, how many signatures did these guys get for end vote by mail? How many signatures did these people get for no tax Oregon? I mean,
well,
we
do have to address some. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
There's just so many things that we have to address in this because they like the numbers here, like that are up on the screen. Yeah. So for people to understand, there were 7 secret ballots turned in. Now the executive committee is well, technically it's currently 10 members right now. Only 8 showed up to the meeting, and then only 7 in that meeting turned in a ballot. So you have 7 votes. So you needed 4 to win. Like every line there, each PCP applicant, you needed 4 votes to be appointed because of the way the numbers were. Well, guess what? Denesa, Daria, and myself all turned in ballots that were fully yes votes. I don't know if you can see this, but I just drew a line straight down the yes column. Denesa did the same thing. Daria did the same thing. We watched each other do it. We checked all 50 yeses. Okay, so everybody's seeing on the screen, almost all of the people who got rejected, they lost because they only got 3 votes. And they needed 4. So Michael, in all of his brilliance, did not realize that just because it's a secret ballot doesn't mean we won't know how you voted.
Yeah.
So what it shows there is there's a no column with 3 votes. And I'm looking at the ones where people lost. So if you look at the bottom 4, everybody in there did not get appointed. The first column is the 3 from Denesa, Daria, and I. The next 3 are from 3 other members on the executive board, and then there was 1 abstention. Somebody turned in a ballot that barely had anything checked. So the other 4 members, they either voted no or chose not to vote. But none of them voted yes. So they thought they could walk out of this meeting and no one would know that they denied these applications. But they did. Right. They either voted no or they abstained, which denied the applicant. Okay. But there were 3 in particular, very peculiar PCP applicants. So I came to the meeting with, and I've said 47 before, but I actually realized now it's 48 applications. I came with 48 and the grand total was 51, not 50. So I came with 48 applications. Now I didn't collect all of those, but I have chatted with every single one of those people. And I've gotten to know them a little bit. And so that's 48 people from our team, I'd say. Let's just say our team got those applications. They brought 3. Their side, their team, and I'm sorry to say their side and our team, but that's where we're at, okay? Their side brought 3 applications. Well, guess who they were? One of them, I don't know. I don't know how they even, I don't know. I asked who she was. They didn't really give me an explanation. The other 2 was Michael's relative and one of the other executive team members' husband. Is that not insane?
Yeah.
So 2 out of their 3 are related to them. And all 3 that they brought received unanimous votes. They got in unanimous. So you've got these people on this executive committee, and you can call this a personal attack or whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to spin it. But these people, this is shameful. These people on this executive committee voted in their own relatives instead of you good people.
Right.
So Amanda is a school board member. Ivan is a city councilor. Their son is a city councilor. You've got Jeremy Miller and Phil Taylor, who represent taxing districts, the CCAT board and I believe it's the Green Acres Fire Department or Fire District. And I know I'm forgetting somebody else. I apologize. Big list of 50 people. And then you've got people running for office currently. Rick Coleman running for commissioner position. And all sorts of other people who are heavily involved in this mission. And they chose their family members over you. Remember that. I need people to really remember that. All the shows maybe you've watched or all the research you've done, like if you remember one thing, it's that. That is the most disgusting, shameful thing I have ever witnessed. And,
but Chris, you got to make the
insane.
point that you, Denesa, and Daria voted in favor of their 3 people, even though most of ours got rejected.
I mean, I'd vote for Michael if he was an applicant. The thing is there's so many vacancies. Okay, so let's say I thought there was somebody better than Michael for the position. Well, it's my duty to get them to the election or through the appointment process, right? So if there's 150 vacancies and I want to be able to pick and choose, well, I better get more than 150 people there, right? That's how you get a choice. If there's less, you can't choose. I really don't know how to explain it on the other way.
Yeah, we have 190 positions to fill, and we've only got 50 of them here, and they only did 15 out of the 50. So
well, let me even clarify that. The first ballot was they only got 13 people through the door, so they picked their 3 unanimously, and then 10 out of the 47 at the time, because we added an extra application at the end, but 10 out of the 47 that we turned in, they said, oh, I guess. Like Rod Taylor there is circled. And they were like, oh, I guess. Because can you see the vote? He got 4. So that means Daria, Denesa, and I, and then one of them, one out of that entire executive board that is aligned with Michael said, I guess we should vote for the commissioner, our own commissioner, who won a county-wide vote. This is disgusting. I'm appalled. I have not been involved with politics. People always say politics is dirty. This isn't dirty. This is disgusting. This is
stupid.
Outrageous.
It's
potentially illegal.
The thing about this that stinks so highly is the fact that they seem to be going by the liberal or Democrat playbook, where it's like, we're violating the law, we're breaking the law, we're doing nepotism, we're putting in our own people, we're pissing off all the people that should be our supporters, and we don't have to care. I mean, you see all these really bad laws being passed by the state of Oregon, and you're like going, that's because every single one of those people knows that they don't have to get reelected because they're not elected, and they're running this like their own little fiefdom, where they're not going to let people in because it's like they're going to block everything because it's their little fiefdom. And it's like, this is not how you run a party at all. This is not how you get a grassroots effort. The fact that we talk about this all the time has a lot of people turning up their noses going, why do I want to join this party if they have this much problem with the people that are running it? It's like they're so ineffective, and it's controlled destruction. It's demolition done on purpose, and it's done by somebody, and I'm not exactly certain who it is, but I can make a pretty good guess. and it's they're destroying the grassroots Republicans on purpose.
I want to give people hope, though. They're not destroying us. They're empowering us. They're enraging us. You never piss off a bull. I mean, we are PO'd, and we're coming. This will go away. I promise the citizens of Coos County that I will see this through. Yeah. I will take care of this. This will not happen again under my watch. And there are many people that share that same vision, and we're coming, and we're going to make this right. And this sort of BS is not going to go on any longer. I will see to that personally, and Denesa will, and Daria, and Rob, and a lot of other people. This is not okay, people.
Like I was never much of a politician. I was never a political person at all. As a matter of fact, I didn't even join the Republican Party till I got to Coos County. And it was like, and then once they started pissing me off, I'm like, okay, now I'm in it to win it, because, if you think you can get away with this, because we have a way of doing this where we don't even have to, pay attention to these people. If we get enough people filling out the SEL 105s and get these PCP forms, and we get them out there doing just a little bit of like, hey, go to your neighbors and get me at least 3 votes for PCP for precinct 18, like that Marty guy. He got 3 votes, but we know who those 3 votes were. But we know who.
Well,
the 3 votes
you mentioned precinct 18 is small. There's only, I believe, 2 positions available, and they currently don't have anyone. So that's also another thing to point out is that there are 4, I believe it's 4 precincts that are currently not represented at all in the Republican Party of Coos County. Marty was offering to volunteer and represent his precinct 18, and they denied him, even though they currently have no representation from precinct 18. Can you believe that, people? So if they don't like Marty, and this is even crazy to do, but I'm just trying to give them a way out. If you really want to run the party like that, do it in a smart way. Find 2 other people from precinct 18, get them to fill out the form, then maybe you can have a choice. But you didn't do that. I don't know if are you guys intentionally ruining your chances at looking any sort of like smart or normal? It's insane.
We've proven that they can't do. We've proven that they can't do math. I mean, it's a vote of 7, and we know where 3 votes are always going to go, which means the other votes. You've already exposed who the other votes are, and then the other thing is right. I mean, precinct 18 only has 2 slots. There hasn't been anybody there for a while. I almost won in a write-in, the last time around, and it was just, But the thing is okay, if there were 3 people, and you didn't like me for whatever reason, and believe me, a lot of people don't like me, but if you didn't like me for whatever reason because you didn't think I fit, or you didn't think I'd do any work for the Republican Party, then fine, vote for the other 2 people. But when there's only 1 person applying for a position where there's nobody now, you have absolutely no reason to deny that person to be on there.
But I also have to clarify, every single one of the current applicants were in that position. Every single one. There was no one was in a contested slot. Every one of those things that Rob keeps putting up on the screen, the line items, every single one of them uncontested. It's a vacant position, and they were the only one applying for it. Jeff put up a comment. It's probably all the way on the bottom for you, Rob, but he just put it in. It says Marty should be in by default. Yes, because the precinct 18 thing not being represented, but every single one of you guys should be in by default. Every single one of you. Jeff, you should be in by default. Every single one. It's insane.
Let's go through a couple of these. Rick Coleman says it's called speaking the truth. Jeff P says, now you offended me, Rob. Well, Jeff, I do that on a regular basis. I'm pretty good at it. I should get a career. He called
Yeah.
me braintard and shitling, and it hurt our feelings. Yeah, I know, Ivan. You use those sharp, pointy words too. I'm sorry. LOL. Rob is the boogeyman. Yes, it's true. I am the boogeyman.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question, Rob. You're not throwing sticks and stones, are you? No. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. And so these people haven't even gotten what, a kindergarten education, and so what if somebody said something bad about you? As a matter of
But
fact, it
this
used to
is
be some of my jobs. I'm like, if people aren't complaining about me, I'm doing a horrible job.
But Marty, this is exactly what happens in a divorce when you have a wife who wants to get full custody, and the wife's going to say, he scares us, he beats us, he yells, he screams. And in some cases it may be true, but we know for a fact, because I've seen it happen, where there are women, sometimes it's men, but usually it's women, who will lie about their ex and say all these horrible things. And then everyone else starts saying that stuff. And this is what they're doing. They're creating this whole motif that we are scary people like me because I yell and I use bad words. When they yell, they were yelling back at me. They were
dropping F-bombs at the executive committee meeting on Wednesday.
Incredible.
The lies and the contradictions and the hypocrisies were abounding.
Yeah. It's a whole new level of hypocrisy that gets me upset about these things, where it's like they're saying that, we're mean and we do F-bombs. I'm like, and you're not seeing that you're doing it yourself. I mean, so.
I worry about the splinter in my neighbor's eye when I have a log in my own, I think is the proverb in the Bible, something like that.
You can't read from the book.
I'm sorry, I'll stop that. Roman Rogers says you hurt their feelings. Yes, it's true. I do hurt people's feelings. You missed it, Marty. We had a great turnout at the Danielle Bethel event, and I called her a broad at some point. I think I remember that was.
You're always so.
I thought was a compliment. That's what we called dames. That's what we called chicks.
I wish I was a wordsmith like you, but just don't got it. Don't got the chops.
I just don't. What I don't get is, like, we live in an area that has strong logging routes and and fishing routes. Like, have these people not been in industry? Have they not? Like, it's insane. So, like, I'm sorry if you only elect people who don't curse and they go to church every Sunday and they're your version of, like, perfect people. Well, guess what? You're not getting a solid representation of this county. And because of that, you'll never have respect of all the voters. So every time you're complaining about low voter turnout, maybe it's because you're not fucking like them.
Hey, Denesa.
I've been fighting. My browser won't help me. I'm technically challenged, so I'm back on my phone. I'm sorry, I'm not being able to participate, but I've been listening to you guys.
Well, you sound great.
Can you hear me
now.
okay?
Yeah,
you sound a little bit better. It's not breaking up as much.
Okay,
so
well,
Steve, so we're going over the people who are rejected.
Yeah, it's crazy that we feel like deplorables. These people, what they did is they went on social media. They've been following us pretty good. Is anyone that says anything bad about the Republican Party or how things are working, or cusses or anything like that? Oh, they're axed, and that's what they're saying at this point. In our meeting, it was basically about social media. And so the funny thing is, we're sitting in this meeting and they're telling us that we're aggressive, we cuss a lot, we do all that. And here I'm not going to name names because I don't want to slander anyone, but she did do it. I mean, she's cussing like a sailor in our executive meeting. And I mean, these are people that seem to be going to the same church, and Julie, our well, she was the PCP coordinator. I said, well, you guys aren't effective. Why? Yeah, treasurer. Yeah, she was the PCP coordinator, and quite honestly, she did a really lousy job because she says she's contacted everyone in her church, and no one wants to be a PCP.
Right,
and
she
that's
got
her
0
excuse why she
PCPs added to
failed.
the party.
Yes, and then now she's been made treasurer because we needed a treasurer, and we have questions for her, but we can't even get to the business about some of these transactions. So
well, let's point out one of them, right?
tired
So
of
they
being
scheduled
called
this
immoral.
meeting in November. They scheduled a meeting to appoint PCPs at the Mill Casino in November, and then they canceled it just mere hours before the meeting was supposed to start, and still paid for the room. So they made the Republican Party pay for the room, even though they decided to schedule it and cancel it to avoid appointing you people PCPs. Is that not insane? And that money doesn't belong to them personally. That's been fundraised by people. I mean, it's through sales of merchandise at the fair and all these sorts of things. And they just wasted it. They gave it to the tribe.
Other thing is that, it goes to the tribe, and that's a sovereign. We shouldn't be having meetings on sovereign territory and paying $300 for a meeting place. We have places to be free and maybe up to $75. There's plenty of meeting rooms, but they picked the expensive one. And we had one of the ladies that got appointed, Kathy Chase. She just got appointed, and she did sway the votes, by the way. If she was not there to vote, it would have been a totally different picture.
What Denessa's talking about is on the executive committee. Sorry,
go ahead, delayed. Chris.
On the executive committee, traditionally it's just the officers, right? So you've got like chair, vice chair, treasurer, secretary, delegate, 4 alternate delegates, and then for some bizarre reason, the ex-chair, the prior chair is allowed on the executive board, and that's it. Well, they found a loophole in the bylaws that allows any committee chair to also sit on the executive committee and have a vote. So Michael appointed someone as a committee chair right before the meeting. This person that no one from any committee chairmanship has ever been to our executive meetings. They've never been included in any executive committee emails, nothing. And no appointment was mentioned to us. But I smelled it coming from a mile away. And I requested weeks before this meeting for Michael to email me a list of anyone he has appointed this year to serve on any committee or chair a committee. He refused. I emailed him twice prior to this meeting. He refused to respond to that email. And guess what? We showed up to this. Oh, and they put her on an email thread at one point. And I'm like, well, why is she on this email thread? Michael wouldn't answer. Well, the secretary told me because she's the PCP coordinator. Still did not inform us that she's going to come to the executive meeting. So we show up, and there she's sitting at the executive meeting. So Daria says, what's up with this? Why is she here? Not that I don't mind Kathy Chase. Why? I mean, the more people, the merrier, unless you're trying to sway a vote. So anyway, so they add this lady to this meeting, and Daria goes, "What's up with this?" And Michael says, "Well, I appointed her." And we look it up, and he's allowed to. I guess he has that power. He can just pick anybody off the street and appoint them. And he chose to do it right before this meeting. Interesting timing. And yep. And so she was one of the people. Her husband was one of the applicants that they brought forward. So she voted for her husband. We all did. It was a unanimous vote. He got appointed. And because of math, we know that she did not vote for at least 37 of those other applicants. That is shameful. And that's not a personal attack. That's a professional critique. And by the way, this position that she was appointed to is PCP coordinator. She's the chair of the PCP committee. It's a committee of one, her, and she is the chair of it. Her whole goal, her whole position within the party is to get PCPs in the party.
Yeah.
You can't make this stuff up, people.
And she
It's
voted
insane.
against all of them. Her first official duty as the PCP person is to vote against the majority of the people applying.
The vast
for PCP.
majority.
And they think we're crazy. We're the ones who are causing the obstruction here. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is just infuriating. And
that's
I
effed
don't
up.
want to. I've been trying not to drop any F-bombs or call any names, but dang, man. And I put up this comment by Steve Nye. Says, I feel I'm personally attacked because 2 people voted nay against me. The bigger issues will work things out. And 2 people voted against Steve?
Yep, I got to look at the list.
Wow.
Steve, 2 people said no. He got 5 yeses and 2 no's. So he got the 3 from us and then 2 more yeses and 2 more no's. So you split the executive committee there. So it was Lourdes, the secretary, Michael, the chair, Rod Schilling, the old chair. Well, no, he didn't vote. Rod Schilling, the old chair, decided not to put in a ballot and he left. So who else? Oh, Julie, the treasurer, and Kathy Chase, the PCP coordinator. So 2 of them voted yes, 2 of them voted no. But for all the 37 who didn't make it, all 4 of those people either said no or abstained. They did not vote yes for you.
Yeah, and there's something completely wrong with abstaining or not showing up for something that's this important. I mean, it's bad enough that you show up and then you stack the deck by appointing the PCP chairperson or whatever you call that position, PCP coordinator. And then the PCP coordinator doesn't accept PCPs. It's not like we've got 192 and there's no more room. No.
Oh, she accepted PCPs. Her husband was a great candidate, she thought.
There you go. Yeah, but I mean, that's the whole point. And then the other people that didn't show up or didn't vote, that's just as bad. I mean, that's actually worse. I mean, who are you representing when you don't show up? Who are you representing when you don't vote? If you're not voting and vote yes or no, but don't hide in a closet and say, I'm not showing up or I'm not casting a ballot. I'm not going to have an opinion. You're there to do that job. So do that job or get the heck out. Resign now. I was happy to see the resignation of one of the people, and I want to see more of that.
And
well, yeah, so she resigned last night, but not after doing a bunch of damage. So the meeting, so we had the secret ballot. The meeting took, I don't know, an hour and a half just to even get to the voting because they tried to delay it, by the way, people. They tried to table the vote and they wanted to postpone the meeting till January, the end of January. They tried to do that. We were able to stop it. And then, yeah, so they had the vote about like an hour and a half, 2 hours in, and it took us a while to count all the tallies and everything. Well, after the vote happened, we were moving on to other matters. Those matters got tabled. So the meeting was kind of like, okay, is there anything else? Well, I motioned to appoint one more PCP that it was an application that Michael had dropped that I presume it was an accident. Neither of us caught it, that the person didn't make the list, even though I had turned in the application. So I motioned to approve Ruth Harris to one of the precincts, and it won. It passed. I believe a 5-2 vote. It passed. And so I said, okay. And then I really quick motioned Nicole Taylor, Commissioner Taylor's wife. I said, I nominate Nicole Taylor for her precinct. And it passed. I believe 5-2. Even though it had just failed in the secret ballot, I guess people are cowards. So now that they're having to raise their hand, they decided to vote for Nicole. So awesome. Nicole made it. That's pretty cool. And I was ready to go through the whole list. So the next thing I did was I nominated Rylan Parker, a 19-year-old city councilor from Myrtle Point, up and coming leader in our community. Don't think he's ever even said anything bad about the people online or anything.
Nope.
And Lourdes here, the secretary, that she Rob has her resignation letter up on the screen. She adjourned the meeting. She motioned to adjourn the meeting in the middle. So my motion, I nominated Ryland. That motion was seconded. So it should have either been debated or voted on. That's how it works. Lourdes motion to adjourn the meeting. Michael accepted that motion, slammed his hammer, and the meeting was over. So sorry, Ryland. I tried my best. I'll try again next time. Isn't that nuts? And then sorry to keep going, but there's more. But wait, there's more. Now, I just received emails today. So by the way, Lourdes resigns after doing that. So she prevented this vote. I mean, we could have gone back through the whole list, and I think we would have gotten it, probably half of you guys all appointed, because not having on a secret ballot changed things a little bit, which is a good thing. You know, you should be accountable for the choices you're making and the votes you're making, especially when the stakes are this high. Anyway, so then I got emails today where the chair is asking the state to step in and make a decision on some of the votes. And one of those votes is Nicole's. So the question is whether or not your vote still stands that you got appointed because you lost the first vote by secret ballot. And does the second vote then count? And yes, it does. The answer is yes, it does, because I can nominate you 17 times if I want. The chair accepted my nomination. We all voted on it. You won. you win. Okay, so that's how it works. Well, Michael, I don't know if he's doing it on his own account. I would imagine he didn't say that it was a question for a friend or anything. So he's asking the state to intervene and rule on whether or not that the motion was out of order. Well, too late, Michael. You would have had to rule that out of order. And right. And then the other vote is Denesa's husband, Richard Northrup, actually got appointed because he got 3 votes. There are 3 yeses, but 2 no's, and then there were 2 non-votes. So we at the meeting, everyone, I believe, but one person agreed that he should be appointed because that's 3 over 2. Only 5 votes were turned in because there really wasn't an abstention column. So people just didn't mark anything. And if you don't mark anything, that's actually not a vote, right? Like Marty, you know about that for elections. Well, if you don't mark something, does that... Right, it's not an abstention, it's a non-vote.
Yeah. It's an undervote. I mean, basically you don't care enough about that thing to vote on it, so therefore it doesn't count. But if you're doing a thing where it's like, okay, now only 5 people voted, then it's a 3-2.
Yep. So I believe that
counting the majority of people that actually voted for that position. It's not, only 3 out of 7 voted yes. Well, no, 3 out of 5 voted yes. Therefore, that's a win.
Right. So yeah. So I believe that. So out of all these numbers, I believe what would that be? 16 out of 51 applicants are in, but the chair is actively trying to make that 14 out of 51. Is that not insane? Like, you guys already did enough damage by not voting these people in. You want to go and fight to make sure 2 less get in.
Yeah.
This is nuts.
This is insane.
And all this is happening in secret. If we didn't have this show, no one would know about this.
See, and that's what makes me mad, because people are getting mad at us because we're out here in the open. We're telling this story, and people at the state level are mad. And I go back to a comment that Jane Brown made about Roseburg, and the Republicans there would reject her, and they probably would reject her because she's a good activist. She stands up to bad politicians. And so the Roseburg 6, the Roseburg 6, who got kicked out of the Republican executive board in Douglas County, they were all thrilled about this. The elites, the caucus who controls the party, they were thrilled about this because they got us in line again. They got us in line, and we were going to be having to follow marching orders, or there will be consequences. And then what happened is that we here in Coos County, we said, screw you. We're not going to take this crap. We are going to stand up, and there are more of us here in Coos County than there were in Douglas County to fight against the party there. We are winning. We have the majority. We have the momentum. We have the people on our side, and we are right morally. Morally, we are on the right side, and legally, and I guarantee you in March, when this judge gets Michael in front of him again, he's going to have some very sad consequences happening to him, because the judge, and I played that recording of him at the very beginning, told him there's no reason not to appoint any of these people. And so the consequences are coming, Michael. The consequences are coming. And for you, David Brocksmith, down the road, they're coming. And all of this is what has happened when you have planted bad seed.
Yeah, one question I have is, the trial was, okay, the trial was what day and the meeting was what day?
The hearing was on December 5th, and then the executive committee meeting was December 17th.
Okay, so basically on the 5th, the judge said there is no reason why these people should not be appointed PCPs. And then at the meeting, Michael basically flipped him the middle finger and, rigged it.
He thought he was so smart that it would be in secret and we wouldn't know that he didn't vote for these people.
Yeah. Well,
he did an oopsie. Oopsie.
Yeah.
Well, and I asked him too right before the vote. I said, Michael, have you verified the eligibility of all these applicants? And he refused to answer. What kind of a chair does not answer that question? And I said, why aren't you answering? And he said, because you're trying to pigeonhole me for court. And I'm like, I like, okay, but you can't answer the question. I said, well, let me rephrase it. I said, have you found any of the applicants to be ineligible based on the requirements? And he said, no. I'm like, okay, well, then is it fair to say that they meet all the requirements, all of them? And he was like, yeah, I guess. So with that in mind, the four of them on the executive team from the other side denied 37 of you, even though you met all the requirements and you had a non-contested position. You were the only applicant. You were the sole applicant for that slot.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, it's in secret. And I appointed the PCP, the PCP handler or whatever that position is. And, that wasn't announced either. It's like, oh, I just went ahead and appointed that person like today. So,
he refused to tell me ahead of time if he appointed anybody. He refused to answer those emails, and he's answered some of my emails, so he gets them. It's not like they go to spam. But yeah, he refused to answer and looked pretty bashful at the meeting when people were asking him about it. And I feel for Kathy Chase. Kathy, if you're watching this, you're in the middle of something, and I urge you to get out or to stand up for yourself, because you're being manipulated. You're being lied to. You're being manipulated. You're being used and played. Sorry.
So, Chris, that would be my question to you, is that you've got Lourdes who just resigned. I think a lot of them are going to realize, especially after they watch this show, that what they did in that meeting was a huge mistake. There could be legal consequences, not only for Michael, but anyone else who's listed as a defendant in a lawsuit, if anyone decides to list anyone else as a defendant. And they, I think, will come to their senses, and you may get a couple of more people stepping down. And once you do that, I think we're going to have, but explain to people what happens. What are the consequences of her leaving?
Well, yeah. So it's weird. It's like, okay, thank you, Lourdes. I appreciate you removing yourself from the situation. But yeah, now we don't have a secretary. So that petition that I got signed a couple months ago to call a meeting, well, guess what? The secretary has to do that, and we don't have one. And there's no provision in the bylaws for anyone to automatically assume those those responsibilities. So like if the chair somehow disappears or resigns or whatever, I automatically assume those duties. But that's not the case for the secretary. It's the duty of the executive committee to appoint a temporary secretary until the full committee can vote on a new one. But there's no time given. I mean, which would make anyone assume that it should happen urgently. But Michael, the chair, does not think that way. That he's going to try and delay this as long as he wants. So I immediately put an email out the next morning. So this morning I emailed out and I said, Michael, can you please call an executive team meeting? I suggested the first week in January. So it's after the holidays, but it's as soon as we can. And then we could appoint a temporary secretary and then schedule a date for a full central committee meeting, hopefully like the 4th Thursday of January. That's when we typically have meetings, the 4th Thursday. That would work, right? I mean, right. A normal person, a good leader would respond back to that with, thank you, or like already on it. Yeah, how does January 5th work for everybody? Or, throw out a date, right? That's what you would do.
Yeah.
But you know what I got back? I got back this email essentially telling me to stop harassing people. That's what I got. And I got blamed for Lourdes' resignation and the treasurer back in, was it March? Our treasurer resigned, MJ. Michael, our treasurer resigned because you were being ridiculous. Yes. Towards me and Denesa. That is precisely why she resigned.
Actually, both of the women who resigned previous to Lourdes, and that would be Daria and it would be MJ Golder. Both of them at several meetings have stated in public in front of everyone the reason they had to stop their position as the treasurer of the party is because of the inconsistencies with Michael and his reporting of expenditures. That was both of them. And that was both of them who said they left for that reason.
Yep. It's insane. And he blamed that on me somehow. And Lourdes is, I guess, whatever, blame me. Like Lourdes and I did not get along. Cause I do crazy stuff. Like, I get a petition signed by the majority of our members and I hand it over to her. And I have this bizarre expectation that she would do her duty to call the meeting within any reasonable time frame. So now it's 3 months later and that meeting has not been called. So she specifically indicated that she resigned because I harassed her about it yesterday or 2 days ago. So you after Wednesday's meeting, I asked her. So after Wednesday's meeting, I said, can you please call this meeting that the majority of our members requested? Call the meeting to appoint PCPs by the full body, not the executive committee. No one asked for the executive committee to do this in secret. And her response back was, we have a meeting on January 22nd to do that. Well, that was the first I had heard of it. I know there was talk in our executive committee meeting about postponing the vote to January 22nd, but that got denied. That motion failed. But she claimed that there was a meeting on January 22nd, and our chair did not deny that. So I don't know. Where does that leave us? Do we have a meeting on 22nd? Did she call it? Does that mean she called it? I mean, this is, it's insane. I'm being asked to be a better leader by stopping cursing. Instead, where are the people calling on Michael to be a better leader? By answering an email.
Right.
I answer Michael's emails. Do you know that? People email me after trying to email Michael 6 times. Right. And I have so many emails, but I still get back to people, or I try. There's probably people watching this that are like, Chris hasn't emailed me in 2 weeks. By the way, people, if I don't email you or respond to you or do what you asked, bug me. I did not bother by it.
Here. It
bug the hell out of me.
The The thing is, though, you made the perfect point. They're making excuses for them violating the bylaws, for them not doing their job, for them trying to be obstructionist. All of this is just excuses to obscure what's really going on, and that's them manipulating and using the system in their best interest. And that's what's going on here. This is that you got this where they're more worried about our language. And then of course they escalate that claim to, oh, they're scary, they're threatening, we're intimidated. Oh, we don't even want to talk to them. Everything that they've done sounds like something that we've dealt with Antifa or Black Lives Matter, almost to the T.
Well, it's gaslighting. It's crazy.
It's almost word for word, letter for letter, rules for radicals. I mean, it's gaslighting. It's basically, the whole point is, if you can't win an argument, then what you do is you change the argument and you belittle the person that actually has the answer to your question. Because if you can't answer the question, make the person that's answering the question look like the idiot. So therefore, and the whole thing is and Chris made a good point. How come people are saying, oh, Chris is harassing, or he's demanding people follow the bylaws, and he's demanding people actually do their jobs, and it's like, how is it harassment if you kindly ask somebody to say, hey, all these people signed this thing that said they want a meeting, which means by the bylaws, you should schedule a meeting. That's not harassment. That's asking to do your job.
And over 3 months, I made 3 requests. The initial one in September, I made an in-person request on Wednesday, and then I made a written request Thursday morning.
And
that's harassment in her mind.
Wow.
And were you screaming and foaming at the mouth while you were doing this? Were you like, were you dropping F-bombs on her, saying, why the F aren't you scheduling it?
I reminded her repeatedly that it is her duty.
Yeah.
And by repeatedly, I mean 3 times over 3 months.
Well, gasp, I tells you.
And that is my job. I mean, you'd think it would be Michael's job. You'd think Michael would be like, by the way, Lourdes, you do have to call that meeting, right? Like the chairman would step in. But guess what? The chairman's not doing his duty. So in the bylaws, I'm supposed to pick up the slack if he's not doing his job, and I'm doing it. So it's my duty to follow up and say, dude, or ma'am, you're not doing your job. Yeah, and it affects the entire county. The membership requested a meeting. We want a meeting. Like there's no gray area, but here we sit, the end of December, and that meeting has not been called.
Right.
It has not been called.
You're the one harassing her. Yeah. Okay. Correct.
And
so there's a comment here. There's an interesting comment here. It says this is from James McHenry, which is weird because James McHenry's on the screen. His name is Marty Kurt. Marty, you're incredible.
Man, you just outed me.
I'm sorry I outed you again. But he says the people who did show up to vote and voted against the rest of the people who ran for PCP should not be allowed to attend the Turning Point event in Coos County until they vote for all the PCP candidates. And I would second that as one of the people who is helping organize the 3 events that we're having at the end of January.
We shouldn't exclude people, but they're not going to show up anyway. They didn't. Okay. They didn't show up. I will say Rod Schilling and Pam Lewis, 2 of the executive team members, did show up to the Monique Despain event. Right. So kudos on them. But no one from their side showed up to the Danielle Bethel event on Tuesday. They didn't announce these events. They didn't support these events. They did nothing to support these candidates. A governor candidate and a U.S. congressional candidate, House of Representatives candidate. Can you imagine that? Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So this is it.
That's the county party. That's what the county party is for, is so you can get people introduced to who's running for governor or senator or House representative or whatever. I mean, you're supposed to be the interface, the liaison, so that you can get these names and faces out to all of these people. And if you don't advertise it and you don't tell anybody about it, and most of the people don't show up for it, then what in the heck are you doing anyway.
What are you doing? But Marty, here's the thing. Who was you and I and Denesa and the team? We were out there in a booth at the county fair collecting signatures. And then we were out there doing pop-up booths. And then we got a headquarters. We got someone donated a headquarters to us.
Yeah.
And then we got that stop the gas tax petition, and we gathered more signatures than anyone else, hand down, because of that headquarters. And then on top of that, we're now organizing not just one, but 3 events in a row: a private dinner, an event at the Egyptian Theater, and a concert on a Friday night the following the Egyptian Theater event. And all of this is happening because of us. And then there's crickets on the other side. On the other side, there's nothing. They're not organizing the people coming in who are candidates. They're not helping with the people who are running for office right now. All of that's being done by us. And they keep calling us, once again, the obstructionists, the people who are trying to hurt and destroy the party. It's nuts.
I just want to clarify, when Rob says us, there's a huge team, by the way, people.
Yeah.
The Danielle Bethel thing was mainly actually done by Commissioner Rod Taylor and his wife, were the conception of that. But in general, the events, I mean, we've got, I don't know, at least 10 people that I can think of briefly that were directly involved with helping out with those events in some way. I mean, you had a new volunteer, Amy Colton's been helping us out. She went out and bought like little gift baskets for Monique and Danielle for like a Coos Bay hat, stuff like that, to give to these candidates, just as like a thank you for coming down, caring about Coos County, and we want to help you and support you. So here's just like a little, like, how cool is that? Those are the kind of people that we're attracting. And you know what? I don't know if Amy curses or not. It doesn't really matter to me.
I don't care.
Because when you have people like that stepping up and doing things like that, you welcome them in with open arms.
I want you to address Nicole Taylor's comment, because she sounds like she's a little bit in shocked. And hi, Nicole. Glad you're
I was
tuning in.
shocked.
I
was shocked when I got the email.
I'm glad her phone started working again, because this question came up where it's like the phone cut out, they're driving home, and it's like, so did they deny her application and then you got her application approved? If I'm remembering correctly, that's what happened. Initially,
she lost the first vote on the secret ballot. I nominated her afterwards, and I believe the vote was 5-2, so she was approved. The consensus in the room was that it was a kosher vote, and the chair recognized it, and we moved on. It was recorded in the minutes, and then somebody got cold feet. Mr. Brainard did, and emailed the ORP, and Nicole, like, seriously, think about it. I kind of want to forward you the email. I don't know. They're going to complain that that's not proper.
Right.
You're forwarding emails that are supposed to be private outside. But, he's asking the ORP to weigh in on whether or not that vote was valid, because I nominated you even after you had been denied by them. That's how bad they want you denied. Think about that, Nicole. Yeah. I've been trying to open your eyes to things, and your eyes are pretty wide open already, but that should open them even wider.
That's a mind blow.
Oh, she says, can you say that one more time, please? We were getting firewood and it cut out. Nicole just called me. Jeez. They are trying to get clarification on whether or not the second vote that got you in was valid. They are and when I say they, all I know right now is that it's Michael Brainard, because that's the only one who sent the email to the state, trying to get the state to step in and clarify as to whether that vote was valid, even though we were all in agreement in the meeting that it was valid, and that you meet all the eligibility. So absolutely nuts. They're that petty and that intent on some squashing the PC people as small as they can.
Yeah,
you're that big. You should take it as a compliment, Nicole. You're that much of a threat to the establishment GOP. There you go.
In a secret vote, you lost. when it was a public vote, you won. And then after everybody left, Michael scuttled into the corner and wrote an email going, "I'm not sure if 5-2 is actually a winning vote. Can you clarify this?" So if it's done in private, they think they can get away with it. And when it's done in,
Yep.
when you turn on the light and the cockroaches run, then it's like, oh my God, I'm going to have to, somebody's going to actually see me put my hand up. So I better do the right thing.
So
Steve's
Nye-
mentioning being secretary. That would be
Yeah.
awesome. What a good leader would do right now is they'd put out a notice saying that we had a secretary position resign. There's a vacancy. Anybody, just if you're interested, submit just a few sentences, because we got to appoint somebody temporarily, and then we'll have a full election. And if you don't have a date right now, maybe you just say later in January, and we'll do proper applications and have an election then. And that's what you do. And do you know how quick? Look, I just wrote the email right there off the top of my head that quickly. That's how easy it is to not be an a-hole.
Ta-da! Don't be an a-hole. That
But
should
instead-
be your slogan. Don't be an a-hole, Michael.
Seriously. And it's like, and then instead of getting that back or that going out to all the PCPs, you've got a chair who's worrying about whether or not Nicole Taylor can be a PCP, and he came after me in an email for harassing him about that. How dare I? I was told to be more positive for this show, but you got to realize, people, we're positive like all week long, and then this is our chance to rant. It's like we're out there, every single one of us. Poor Denesa is just sitting there, not even able to say a word and get it in.
I know.
But
Denesa, you
we're
wanna
all
chime
busting our
in?
butts. Is she frozen?
Is she frozen?
She might be frozen, or
Oh,
she's
wow.
like petrified at the nonsense that we've
I
been
cannot
disclosing.
unmute her mic, so I don't know. I can't unmute
She must
her
be
mic.
frozen.
But look at Steve Nye. He says, I can take notes, help with meetings, and kick ass in a skirt. And then I even said exactly what I was thinking, Steve, no skirts, please.
Yeah.
For gosh sakes, no skirts. Jeff
I don't
P
judge.
says, it's always you, Chris, and Rob's fault. You guys caused the windstorm last night. Cut your ass out.
Yep.
And
Pretty much.
You and Ivan says, Rob, you big meanie. Yeah, that's me. I'm a big meanie. I just want everyone to be able to participate in the Republican Party. What a meanie I am. Jeff says Chris and his Jedi mind tricks. Yeah, damn you, Chris. James says,
Oh, he was
you're not
talking about
helping
Turning
my-"
Point.
Yep. Michaela says Phil says Michael's a busy man. He's sitting on Santa Shitling's lap asking for new Barbie dolls for Christmas. Okay, there's a buck for me.
See, no, that's a personal attack. That's not a professional critique, Phil. Come on, man.
Come on. It's our swear jar when we need it.
But that still does not disqualify him to be a PCP. It
Not at
doesn't.
all. And you all got Sal's panties in a wad. I bet he is in queendom, scared, brainhard, and chilling into submission. I'm not sure where you were going with that, but we were supposed to mention his name. We weren't going to be mentioning his name. Yeah.
It's like
Nicole says, "Oh, you already read that one. I'm sorry." So okay, Steve Nye says, "I was kidding to a point, but I will send on email to Michael. I'm serious, except the skirt." Well, if you're not going to, once you commit to those things, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't like inconsistency, Steve,
Sorry. Nicole says,
Yeah,
love you guys. Agree all around. Doing great. Thank you, Nicole. We're really trying. And part of the problem is when you got somebody doing what these people are doing to people like you, Nicole, I would never think to not vote for you to be a member of anything that was a public group. To listen to what Chris has been saying I just get angry and I just want to curse and shout and call Michael all kinds of names and call the executive board all kinds of names. But I don't. I've been really calm tonight, but it's really hard, Nicole, because you're such a nice lady. And what they just did to you, it infuriates me greatly. So that's why I get a little upset.
But they corrected their vote for you, Nicole. And then you have a chair intervening to hopefully overturn that vote. That is wild.
And the problem
Yes.
is, if we could just ignore these people, we certainly would. The problem is we can't ignore them because they are the roadblocks. So we have to deal with these people.
Well, and I don't think it's in any of our blood. Like the three of us, I thought it's like one of those things where you see incompetency of this level and you have to intervene. There's like, it's no, like, I can't not intervene. I always remember that scene in Home Alone where she goes, "You're what the French call les incompetents." Like, every time I walk into a meeting with these people. Denesa's back.
Hey, Denesa.
I'm frustrated. I'm sorry. I'm so frustrating. So, this whole secretary thing is she was pissed that she didn't get to record our meeting, and she was so stupid we could hear her fumbling with her phone in that meeting. Did you? And I said, why are you recording this meeting? We've never been able to record or help with people that are outside with handicaps that can't get to the meeting to be on any technical stuff. So I've been upset. I said, you shouldn't be recording. It's not in our bylaws. And that really pissed her off. I think that's why, because she's not capable of taking notes. And you can see that she's biased in all her note taking also.
Oh my gosh, we didn't even talk about that. Yeah.
So that was a little bit. The other thing is I talked about how other counties, I think it was in Miami-Dade, they had a situation where none of the PCP positions were filled in an election on the GOP. Yeah. And the local, and so RNC had to do the appointments to fill those positions because all the Democrats were all filled. All the PCP positions were filled. So I think Daria is looking into that with Tracy Honnell, our chairwoman, to find out if there's anyone, we can blow this up nationally possibly, that they are not wanting to fill positions, and we have blank precincts that aren't even filled. I think 2 precincts aren't filled.
Well, it's
so
still
I'm
4
hoping,
aren't filled. We were going to drop it to 2 by the people that we were adding on there. And by the way, Denesa, your audio is way better if you don't have the video feed.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
true.
With the video turned off,
I'm not
your
moving.
audio
I'm not moving.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry. I don't have earbuds because I don't want to fry my brain. And I moved my office to a different location, and for some reason my mic and camera aren't working properly, and it says the browser has blocked your mic and camera. And I am so technically challenged that anyway, I'm here. I want to talk, but I
doing
just appreciate
fine
people
right
stepping
now.
up.
You're doing fine, Denesa. You're just
Well,
you don't do anything, don't change anything. Your audio is incredible right now. So keep talking, go for it.
Keep talking. Well, I also want to thank Steve Nye. Just, that position as secretary is a hard position to fill in any organization. If he's willing to do it, that's awesome. The thing is they're so paranoid about this whole thing, about appointing people. And, the time is ticking between now and May. These people that don't be discouraged if you didn't become a PC appointed, because all you have to do is get 2 or 3 people to vote for you, and they could be family members. Yeah, three. Just
Well, it's
don't
easier
give
if
up
they're
hope.
family members of Michael Brainard or Kathy Chase. That's the easiest way to get appointed.
Oh, well, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm trying to be
I could've
nice
had a bigger
now. I
family.
was told to be nice and humble. We just have to be on a higher plane right now than others. I'm not this ranting lunatic that he making me out to be. This is just going right back to elections. I did a lot of surveillance on our elections here in Coos County, and they made me out to be this crazy woman. Because I'm trying to be a witness to the problems that are going on, and they make us out so bad that we're going to hurt their babies. We got to have security. We're they're going to hurt us, and that isn't the case at all. We wanted to document what was going on. So like I said, it's a broken record.
Yeah.
When
It's
we're
another
over the
false flag.
target.
It's another false flag done on purpose. They do that. That's part of the tactics of, Dee Dee Murphy and basically said, oh, we had to put up stronger doors and we had to put up bulletproof glass because we're getting threats and their people are, the election workers are afraid to come to work. And then I went and talked to Lark and, I said, hey, Lark, how you doing? And she brings her, like, at that time, her 2-year-old to work with her. And I'm like going, hey, how's it working out with you, bringing your kid to work? And she's like, oh, it works out great. My husband takes him for part of the day. I take him for part of the day. And I go, so you're obviously not really scared about, you're not threatened. She's going, are you kidding me? I mean, once in a while we get a crazy, but more often than not, everybody's just really nice and really fine. So any of that stuff that Dee Dee Murphy said or anybody else said is just BS. It's false flags. The whole idea is to paint your opponent in they don't call you Hitler because they think you're Hitler. They call you Hitler so that people will take action against you. They are putting you in harm's way by calling you dangerous. So that's part of their plan.
They definitely tried to gaslight us in this meeting. And Chris and me would look at each other like, don't do it. And we were really.
Dennis had to tell me, Chris. She went, Chris, don't. The one time. I was about to lose it.
Because we could see what they were trying to do. They wanted an excuse to shut that meeting down, to say that we were unruly. And, this is not something that it's blatantly obvious what they wanted to try to do. And the more they do this, it reminds me of Hillary Clinton calling everyone deplorables. And, it actually got a lot of people going Trump's way. And it's the same things happening here. If they keep saying that we're these bad people, we're not, we're not Republican enough. We don't give enough. We don't, we're not Christian enough. You're not.
You know what, Mike? Remember at the end of the meeting, Michael said that he was going to send a letter out to all the people who got denied, and he was going to welcome them to come and go do door knocking with them, and he was going to remind them that, just because they were denied doesn't mean they can't participate, that they are more than welcome to go door knocking with them and help out with campaigns and such. It's just like, dude, oh gosh, you're so tone deaf. You can't read the room, man. Wow. You can't, you just don't get it. And I tried to be level-headed at the end there, and I think I did a pretty good job. And I was trying to advise him on the most unbiased level and just go, dude, do not send out a letter that says that. That is insane and weird. But he didn't listen to me. I think that's what he's going to intend to do. There was a question up above about the bylaws. Somebody keeps asking about the bylaws. Yes, Coos County has its own separate bylaws. If anybody wants them, you can email me or message me, and I can send you those, and you can read them. They're pretty simple. It's like 6 pages. So yes, we have our own separate bylaws. And the talk about the secretary, Denesa, you mentioned that it's a complex job or it's a demanding job, and it can be, but there are tools to help. So one of the first things that I know I mentioned when I got the job of vice chair and we had our first executive team meeting is I mentioned that we should have our meetings recorded, that we should, I mean, I would like them to be broadcast or at
Right.
least a private Zoom link, but that would allow for it to be recorded. So then not only is, hey, it's recorded, anybody could review it, but it could also be transcribed. The technologies these days is incredible. So it could be transcribed, and then you could use that to form a basis for condensed minutes. You could do summaries, AI summary tools from that. I mean, all sorts of technologies exist that are readily available, mostly free. They refused over and over and over to allow that sort of technology to be used for our party for all sorts of dumb reasons. So they
then they
made
wanna use it
that
against
job
us.
complex.
Well, look at this website. I remember this was when was this? This was March of this year. I was complaining about this website because I had gone to this website because several people said we are looking for people were looking for candidates, and because the primary was coming up. And this is the website that Michael has set up, the Coos County Republican Party. Look right here, this little picture of people. It's a little video of people who don't even belong in the party. Then he's got a donate button because, gosh, you want to donate to something you can only just be, not even a member of. And
No,
then
no
down
funds have
here-
ever come through that funnel, by the way.
Oh, wow. And so I was looking for the bylaws because I was going to send the person to the bylaws, but
Oh no, he has specifically kept them off the website. He has said they are not to be publicly disseminated. They are not to be put on a website. He does not want anyone to see them, and I believe it is his intention so that no one understands them, so that no one could use them against him.
But he's got the brand new. No, these aren't the brand new. These aren't even the brand new platform. He doesn't even have the brand new platform on there. I just shared this tab. This is the tab. This is the Oregon Republican Party platform. It was amended in October 21st of 2023. He's up to date, man. He's up to date. Well, at least we got some great things that are happening for us and everyone else in Coos County and the surrounding area. We got people coming to these events that are happening at the end of January. I don't have a poster for them yet. Chris, you're working on that. You're going to be putting out a poster soon, and we're going to be putting out a poster for the country western concert that we're having with Brandon Hart, who's a really good young musician. I think if you don't know who he is, you need to go check him out. I should have him on the air sometime at some point. And so there's a lot of good stuff happening. And then we got the Scott Pressler thing happening. When was that? Let's see. I guess I should add this to stage. Looks like the 19th through the 25th. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and as we know more information about where Scott Pressler is going to be, of course, we'll pass it along. I mean, we basically sketched out Wednesday night, I think it was. We sketched out the route so that it would be most effective and go to most locations. So it's basically going down I-5 past Roseburg, kind of to Grants Pass, then back over to Coos Bay, and then up to like Lincoln City and kind of the Astoria area before heading back to Portland. And so there will be, I think it's the 21st in Coos Bay. And so we may have an event somewhere or don't know yet. That once we find out, we'll let you know. How's that?
I want to address Steve's comment about his position being taken over by AI. That's hilarious. But no, what it is your position is going to be empowered by AI. AI would help you do that segment of your position that is time consuming. It would condense it. It would be much shorter, but you would be able to present the public and all the Republicans in our county with way more information about what went on at a meeting by helping out with the recording. Like if that's in your skill set, being able to learn how to do that and incorporate more people into the meetings who maybe live in Powers or Myrtle Point and they don't want to travel to North Bend for where our meeting is, right? So they could come via Zoom. You could help set that up. You could also maybe morph into like a communications chair, right? And you could help out with the social media stuff, with a lot of the emailing. You know now that you're helping out with events, how much emailing and back and forth and communication is involved with this stuff. So it would empower you to be the best freaking secretary we've ever had, and not just be a minute taker, because we don't need a minute taker. We need a communications chair and a secretary who help give that knowledge out there to the county.
So the nice thing about AI, and you've done this, and I do this quite a bit too. I don't know, Marty, if you've gone through this process as well. We'll take minutes of the meetings for the commissioners or for other meetings, and we'll have AI analyze it to see if what we are seeing is what AI was seeing. And so most of the time, it's funny when Chris reads me what AI spits out. It's like, well, that's the way we called it. So we're pretty damn good at coming out as a pretty damn objective, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll take the whole YouTube. It'll be like a 3-hour meeting, like a work session from North Bend or something. I'll take the whole thing, put it through AI. It'll transcribe the whole thing, and then you can do a summary. And I'll do it. When I first did it, I tested it with meetings that I attended. So then when I did the AI summary, I was like, oh my goodness, that's incredibly accurate. And I did it for like 10 meetings before I was comfortable just kind of like running it on a meeting that I did not attend. And I even then like checked it. But yeah, now I haven't been doing it much lately. I've been trying to keep up on it. But if you go to my website, chriscastleman.com, click on the meetings tab, I try and do this transcription and summary stuff for some of the local meetings. I put the tab up there, Rob. I shared my screen. I can just like quickly scroll through it to show people what I'm talking about. But so if you go to my website to the meetings tab, you go down. So here was the Board of Commissioners meeting from November 4th. You click on it, and there's the YouTube that you could watch it if you wanted to. But then, most of this is AI. I watched this meeting. So I verified that, this is accurate, but it's pretty short. Nice little summary of what went on, and it doesn't take much time at all. So pretty neat, I think, for people. So, and then what's neat with AI is like once the bot knows that information, because it's watched the meeting and all that, you can ask it questions. Like literally type it questions about what went on the meeting, and it's knowledgeable as if it sat there. Truly incredible.
So
and again, it's not like 100% accurate, but it's a pretty cool tool.
It is an incredibly cool. Go ahead, Denesa. I'm sorry.
I just wanted, part of this meeting, we did not approve the minutes that Lourdes did for July, where we had a breakdown at the it was the fair at Cozy Kitchen. It was very, very biased, and that's a public recording of the meeting. It was very, very biased, like it was slanted for the lawsuit basis. She wanted, it was her way of making a dig, and we did not approve it. We are waiting for it to go to the body to approve those minutes. So if anyone was at that July meeting, please show up to the next Central Committee meeting, the body, and make sure that we do not let those minutes go in as record, because if you were there, you can testify that was a biased meeting and it needs to be corrected.
Well, yeah, meeting minutes should be like, this got motioned, it got seconded, debate started. You could even, if you wanted to be that detailed, you could say like, Steve Nye spoke in favor, and maybe like a 1 or 2 words of, like quickly what he said, the summary. Right. And that's the most detailed, but you don't even need that. And then the vote tally, did it pass? Did it fail? Moving on. That's meeting minutes. Her
Yep.
her meeting minutes did not even include all of the motions, nor did it include what the actual wording of the motion was, nor did it include the votes. And instead, it was paragraphs of paragraphs of paragraphs of her own interpretation of people's intent. She actually went so far as to describe the intent of Rob Taylor during
Yep.
the meeting.
You know,
I mean, that's insane.
That's and ladies, I don't mean to pick on you, but that's something women have a tendency to do is I know your feelings. I know what you feel. And I know what you empaths. Women are more empathic than men. And sometimes, ladies, you just get it wrong. And so, you know what I mean?
It's got no
It's
business
like,
in meeting minutes. We don't need
Yeah.
Robert's intent, whether it's accurate
Rob's
or not.
intent.
Did I call you Robert? I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's all right. That's all right.
You keep putting this up on the screen. People, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., I will be at the headquarters for coffee. Come chat, ask questions. We can go over the bylaws. We could talk about President Trump. Anything under the sun. Actually, I'd prefer not to talk about President Trump. I like to keep things local and conservative, not necessarily Republican, because we're conservatives first. And if you're not conservative, come on down too. If you've never met a conservative in your whole life, never talked with one, we're real people, and we're normal to the most extent. So, but yeah, Rob, you mentioned all this stuff we're doing for like Turning Point, and it's like we also do stuff every week. We have this on Saturday. We have the Wednesday night social from 7 to 9 at the same location, and then we do special events probably every couple weeks. So.
Petitions.
Lots of stuff going on. Yeah, petitions to sign. Carol and Elmer, they man the I almost said precinct, the headquarters at on Mondays, and a couple of us we're trying to work on a schedule. Probably in January we'll have a better schedule. But
and I want to set the record straight that the window will be repaired. We just they've got to fix it. They got to order it. It's a pretty good sized window. They got to order it, and they will take care of it. But I want everyone to know, if you see the broken window in front of the Republican headquarters, that was me. I was taking off the sticker. We weren't attacked by Antifa or anything. I just want to let everyone know it was my mistake, all mine. I'll own up to it. And so I just want that out there, because I can already hear it. Oh, I could see there was a huge crack in the Republican Party window. They got attacked, and no, it was just me.
Yeah, sure. Nice story, Rob.
That's the one I'm sticking with.
Yeah. There are easier ways to remove a sticker from a window, by the way. You don't actually have to break it.
Well, it seemed like the logical way at the time.
Sounds like Marty has a broken window theory.
A broken window theory.
It's a vast conspiracy, I tell you.
Broken.
I love how you changed Denessa's name to technically challenge Denessa.
I
love
did it.
that.
I did it.
Oh, you did that, Denessa? That's
Oh
funny.
yes. I'll admit I am that person.
That is so weird that your camera goes off, but then your mic comes in just crystal clear. That is so strange.
I don't know. I actually left my house to be here to get better reception, and it still didn't work.
Yeah.
Are you in your tinfoil and lead-lined bunker? Is that what you're in?
Well, I think Ivan was going to bring me earbuds here in town, but I couldn't even text out to get a hold of him. So that's how bad things have been.
You are challenged. Jeez.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I'm old.
The funniest is when you call me and you're like, can you send me the email? And I'm like, Denessa, I've sent it to you like 3 times. And I even text you a picture of it in my sent mailbox.
Well, I'm going to tell you how many emails I get. I spend half of
Oh,
my day deleting them.
I bet. Wait, you delete my emails?
Well,
No,
it's
no.
easier that way. We just
No,
delete
no,
them,
I
and then
don't
I'll have
do
to
that.
answer them.
No, I don't do that.
Yeah, I have a bot set up that it automatically throws emails from Rob and Chris and Denesa right into the trash. So it just keeps me from doing all that extra effort.
You might have to do something today if we had you answering emails.
I
But
know.
I do have to put it out there. We are still looking for PCPs. And we still, even though they're not appointing any through the executive board, we do want people to sign up for PCPs. And the ones that were appointed, their applications are still with the county clerks. So they don't have to re-register just because you were appointed. You were appointed, and if you have your SEL with the county clerks, you don't have to worry about it. You're on the election in March, or actually it's in May. March is the deadline, but you got to have this in by March 10th. And this right here is the code that you can scan and become a PCP member. You just have to know which precinct you're in.
Yeah, and if you don't know, you can contact Marty or I, and we can look it up for you. But yeah, we have well over 100 vacancies still. So
yeah, and it's not that hard to look up. I mean, it's name and address. Boom, I can tell you right away. All right, maybe we should just post everybody's. We'll just post all the voter rolls online and just go. Okay, go look it up yourself.
Just go look it up
there
yourself.
You go. Let's not
find your name.
And
is that legal?
Then,
that might actually. I don't know.
I actually think it is. It's public records.
Right.
I mean, I've already paid. We've already paid we've already paid quite a bit for these things. So
there you go, Marty, throwing around your money.
Yeah,
throwing
around your money.
Rat.
Damn, Marty, Mr. I go to LA for the winter. We know about your kind. He's wandering around smelling incense in a robe. We know what he's doing.
It was 75 degrees and sunny today. I was hating it,
Did you fly down there in your private jet?
No, I had to sell the private jet because I wanted to increase the size of my luxury yacht. So,
I actually think you're being serious. You're being serious, aren't you? Okay.
So, Marty, tell us, do you have any inside? Do you have any insight of the Rob Reiner murder? Do you know anything there?
Oh, it's a lot deep. It's a lot deeper than one would expect. Let's just put it that way. He was basically the Hollywood head of the CIA's attempt to do a color revolution in the United States to get rid of Trump. And so it was. There's a lot of information there that will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. The fact that he had severe TDS was mostly because he was getting paid handsomely to do exactly that. He was the production end. He was what's basically like. Did you ever see those times when Joe Biden was in the White House, but you could tell he wasn't in the White House? Yeah. Because it was on the stage at Castle Rock Entertainment, and guess who owns Castle Rock? So, but anyway, don't get me going on that one because there's a lot of in-depth information that is. It's almost one of those things where if you didn't know about it, you wouldn't believe it. So it's just I'm going to stop there. It'll be coming out in the next couple of weeks, maybe next couple of months about.
So I'll get back to you on that. I want you to follow up on that and find more stuff out about that because I had a feeling because Rob Reiner just wasn't, he was quite the mouthpiece for the leftists. And by the way, he made great movies. I loved a lot of his movies. I mean, you can't deny that. But the guy was a player in the like you said, the whole color revolution. He was totally a player and what was going on in our government and the media. He was all tied into it, very much like a lot of the Hollywood heads out there.
Yeah. And there was a production company that basically had as the top 4 directors, they were all ex-CIA. I mean, they didn't even bother to hide it. So it was just like, okay, that's pretty interesting. So
Joe Sixpack even relates to that. He says, no matter what, Reiner was a world-class meathead And now he's fertilizer. Never sell your soul to the CIA. You know, people gave Trump crap for what he said about Reiner. I defended Trump on my Monday show, and I'll even go further. Screw Rob Reiner. He told all of us to F off. If you were a MAGA, I don't know how many times he told us all kinds of horrible things that he wanted to happen to MAGA and to Donald Trump and to anyone who supported the Republicans. And I didn't even realize that. I didn't remember that when I was defending Donald Trump, and I was seeing the memes come out of what Rob Reiner had said about us. The guy's a problem. He's a huge problem.
Yeah. Well, and then, and did you see all the stuff he wrote about Rush Limbaugh when he was diagnosed with cancer and then he passed away? I mean, it was just some of the most just vile and vitriolic garbage. And it was just like, and now all of a sudden, and if you read, I mean, I read Trump's post on Truth Social, and I'm like, okay, he basically started off with, it was a tragic event, and we pray for we pray for the people and all those. And it was just like, but Rob Reiner was, he had severe TDS and it ruined his life, and that's about it. It's not like he said, Reiner's a piece of crap, and I'm glad that he's dead.
Right. And he said rest in peace. In the end, it was rest in peace. Hey, I got to change the subject here because I'm getting tired and I'm going to have to go to the restroom soon. Coos County Turning Point is coming here. American Values Tour, Club America. Club America is for the older adults, the kids between
Younger.
18 and 35, and Turning Point is for the high school kids. We are having 3 different events, and the one on Thursday, January 29th, that's this event right here. You can scan this QR code and you can purchase your tickets from the theaters, Egyptian Theater. And I want to tell everybody that our mystery guest is Angela Todd. We really enjoy her. We wanted to get her out here, and she has confirmed. So we do have Angela Todd coming out here on the 29th to talk with the people of Coos County. And she's been living a pretty exemplary life up there in Portland, reporting on what's happening with, the politics such as it is.
Just want to clarify, Club America is for high schoolers. The Turning Point is for college age. That's the distinction.
Oh, okay. I got that back.
So Nolan is the Club America rep for Oregon. I believe Lincoln is the Turning Point rep for Oregon. So them both being here is pretty neat, and they'll be representing both angles of that. And then we do have other speakers besides this. And if you're in high school or college and you're a conservative and you're looking to step up and be a leader in the community, or at least just speak your mind and give yourself like a venue for that, contact us, because we're looking to give you that opportunity. So, I went to one in Grants Pass, one of these events in Grants Pass, and there was a sophomore and a senior in high school who spoke, and it was so cool. I mean, and they only spoke for 3 to 5 minutes. It wasn't very long. It wasn't a big commitment. So, they did an incredible job speaking their mind and sharing their story and what inspires them and what got them involved and what they see in their future. So that was incredibly inspiring to me. I'm sure it inspired the high schoolers and college kids in the room. And I'm hoping that there's some people in Coos County who can inspire us as well. So
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's a lot of people. You know who was really inspiring? Do you remember, and she's in the military now, Maddie? You remember Maddie?
Yep. Yeah, she lived close. Her parents live on one of my rentals. And she went through a lot of persecution at her school about the mask and the shots and that kind of stuff. And they joined my homeschool co-op for a while just to get out of the public school. It was real hard because she was very athletic, and a lot of these kids had to give up a lot of their sports and stuff because they were being forced to sign unconstitutional permission slips that basically gave consent that they could do anything to your kids. So yeah, she did fight here along with my son. They actually started a turning point, not a turning point, a young Republican. They had like 3 or 4, I think up to 5 people here in this area to start our Young Republicans thing. But then she went into the military. So Maddie is, she's doing really good in the military from what I've heard too.
I knew she would. Her temperament was perfect for it, and she was incredibly athletic, and I think she just fits well into that atmosphere. At least from what I've seen online, from what her mom keeps posting. We should see. She's in the military. I doubt it, but man, if she's possibly somehow could get out here, that'd be great.
Or just give a message, a recorded message, just to tell her story, or do an interview with Rob, and then we could play a clip of it during the Turning Point event.
She did a lot of public speaking about what was going on. She did go up to the Capitol multiple times and protested the shots and the mandates that were affecting kids and adults in our local areas. So she was an activist along with the adults too. So, I mean, there's not many kids that have put their neck out on the line.
No.
And she's very conservative. She really likes country music, and, she a Christian girl, and she followed her convictions, which, when you can stand up for your convictions, especially at a young age, you need to encourage that.
She would be perfect right now for this event. She would be great. This would be something that I think you're right, Chris. I will contact her mom and see if we can get a video from her or something, because I think that would be great. Even her brother, Kyle, right?
Kaiser. And then you might try to get Ryland to talk. Hawker.
Yeah, I've reached out to him for sure. Yeah, no. I mean, and whoever it is, I mean, even if we just get 1 or 2, their few minutes of speaking, their story is going for sure going to be inspiring to kids in high school and in college in this area, and it'll have a big impact. So that's the point of this event. I mean, we've been accused of like using this to raise money or just be controversial, and it's like our heart is in this for the kids, to give them a platform that they don't currently have, give them the encouragement and the stage to stand up, like Denesa said, for their convictions. So
we wouldn't even be charging for the event at the Egyptian if we weren't being charged so much to put on the thing at the Egyptian. So we have to pay for all the entrance fees, the insurance, and all that good stuff. And it's only fair. Everyone else does too. So we have to charge something for the Egyptian. But on Friday night, for the country dance, for the country western concert with Brandon Hart, we are going to be able to do that for free. That's something that people can come for free. We'll have food trucks there. We'll have drinks and goodies. We're not going to have any alcohol because we don't want to encourage that. But we will have. If you want to dance, you want to kick up your boots, this is a good time to do it. You want to meet other conservatives, you want to meet some young people. I hear all the time that there's no place to go and meet people. Here's a good chance to go meet like-minded people if you're interested.
It's gonna be a fun end of January. It's gonna be fun.
Fun end of January. I think so.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on.
So once again,
I gotta get going, guys.
Hey, no problem. I'm getting ready to do the commercials. We're winding down. Denesa, is anything you want to say before you get out of here?
Well, don't give up the fight, because technically, I mean, May comes around, you'll get elected. And even though the precincts might look full in some areas, these precincts will overflow into adjacent ones so that we can fill all of them. And so don't give up on this, because we want representation in every corner of Coos County. And And if you want to make a difference and you're tired of what's going on, the status quo right now, we need your vote. We need some energy. And these PCPs is an entry level into the politics here locally. You don't have to be active in the policy. It just, if you like to talk about politics and share the word about measures to vote on and candidates to vote on, and you could be a hairdresser or someone that's always talking to people, engaging with people. Also, businesses, don't be afraid to step up and help sponsor some of these events here, because honestly, being a conservative right now is, everyone thinks they have to be quiet about it, but it really, if you can step up right now, we can change our area here where maybe we can get school boards to turn around and we get good representation at the state level. It's going to take a village to do this. And let's start at the grassroots level, at the PCP level, and then, encourage people to be candidates for dog catcher and the port commissions and the, commissioner races, all that. If we don't have a good pool of people to come from, and have them on a Rolex where we get information out quickly to what meetings to go to and all that, we just need to get active. And sorry, I'm ranting about all this, but honestly, this is the only way we can stand up. Is we can't do it with 2 or 3. It's got to be 100, 200 people plus to make a difference.
Well, it is called the Friday Night Rant for a reason, and I thought that was a great rant.
Well, I did not cuss, and I'm trying to encourage, and I want to say kudos to Nicole, because she personally texted me, Nicole Taylor. She personally texted me and said, you need to go into that meeting and pray about it before going to that meeting. You need to really watch your words. And I told her, I know, the God has put us in this position right now, gave us a judge that ruled in our favor because we know we're righteous in what we're doing. And I'm not doing this to throw money around. I'm doing it for the people in this. I value my community and I want representation. And I know we've got bad people in places in politics right now. And the only way we're going to change that is getting people to rise up from the grassroots level. It's not, Trump can't do it all. He can't. And if we can get our elections turned around, we need these people on the ground for boots to be able to run our elections at each 18 precincts in Coos County.
Yep.
So this is why it's important.
Yeah,
well, and we need to wrap this.
Okay,
go
I was
ahead.
going to say, yeah, we are actually in the process of training people to do hand counting, and we're trying to figure out, if it goes to something like that, the more volunteers we have, the more people aligned we have, the better. And it's pretty simple. Doesn't take much time to train people, teach people how to do hand counting properly. It's got checksums already built into it, so it'll be a smooth transition, but we need enough volunteers to cover all the precincts.
Yeah.
And that's why PCPs are a good idea, because that way, we're all working on the same side. One question came up, and it was, if you're voting for a PCP, it's in here somewhere, but anyway, it's like, if you're voting for a PCP, do you have to be a Republican? And I don't know. The last time I saw precinct,
yes.
So you'll only get Republican PCP candidates on your ballot if you're a Republican, because it's a primary.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to be I don't know what the word they call it, like an acknowledged major party in Oregon. So there's only Democrats and Republicans, and you'll be on their primary ballot. Only
and
if
you
you're
can
registered.
write in Republican people that are in your community. You can write them in, and they might not even know they got elected.
Well, there's a caveat to that. You have to have turned in a write-in nomination. Otherwise, the write-in doesn't count. But you can do that up until the last hour of the election. I believe up until 8 p.m. you can turn in a write-in nomination ballot.
It's the
And
SEL
you could do it
105.
for yourself or somebody else.
Yeah, it's the SEL 105A, and I did that last time, like the day before the election. Basically, just says people may be writing me in, and if they do, I want it to count.
Yep.
So, Chris, do you got to get out of here? Something you want to say real quick?
Oh no. When I said wrap it up, I was saying we got to wrap up all this mess with the local Republican Party. All this crap that is going on. We need to get the people out of power that are actively prohibiting this party from functioning. And that's why Denesa and I are fighting so hard. And it might seem like, man, you're attacking our own. Well, Denesa and I are a certain type of person. And we're not going to sit back quietly while this crap is happening. So right now, we got our sights set on these people that are obstructing the conservative movement in Coos County. And it sucks because it's our own, or the people who claim to be our own. But can you guys imagine a future where we're not doing this because our party is functioning and the Denesas and the Chris's and the Robs and Martys of the world are out there going after the real enemy, the other side, So that's the goal here. That's the end goal. And to do that, like you guys mentioned, we need a lot of people. Go ahead, Denesa.
Yeah, the other thing is Coos County is being watched right now around the state because there's a lot of counties that are in the same situation. They've been fighting they've cleaned out the mega people in some of the and it's just ruled by rhinos. And then there's some that like Multnomah, they've cleaned out most of their rhinos because they've been fighting for it for a long time. I know we're looked at on the state level pretty heavily because I mean, look what Citizens Restoring Liberty did during COVID. We had that freedom, faith, and family thing.
Yeah.
We have. I'm not saying do this to be an example, but do this to be an example because every state, every county across the United States, it's the same pattern. They're going through the same things that we are. We're just a little ahead of the game right now because we have a little bit of momentum right now. But the thing is by doing this, we're setting an example for other counties doing these turning point things. This is like energy infusing. I mean, it's like it's going to create energy outside of our county if we can accomplish this as a body and get more people behind it. It's gonna be like lighting a match across the whole state of Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is just us getting a better foundation. We're building the right foundation. It's like we bought this crappy old house that's like leaning over. It's like you don't just go in and paint the back room and put in a new couch and go, this is pretty cool. No, you fix it. And sometimes that starts with a full knockdown. Sometimes, you take three walls down and you leave one standing. So that's kind of where we're at.
Get the termites out.
Replace the wood.
It's a lot like a termite infestation or like getting cancer. It's like, why are you fighting cancer? And it's like, well, you got to get it out. And if you don't, it'll just keep growing and festering. So it's like, it's a termite infestation. It's a cancer, and it's something that needs to be gotten rid of. And I'd like to go back to the days when I wasn't political at all, and I could do other things. I used to have a life at one point. Now I spend all my time going through election logs and server logs and doing all these other things. And it's like, I want to go back.
Just got your email, Sarah. Appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you,
I will
Sarah.
send you the bylaws. Sorry, I didn't mean to
More
say your name.
PCPs. Look, we're getting PCPs right here on the show, and you too can be a PCP. It's incredible.
And
everybody should get involved.
It
Get
just
involved with the
encourage someone
Democrats if you're a
else.
Democrat.
And spread the word at churches about this turning point. I've talked to a pastor today that's in Powers, and I think we need to get some flyers out to all these pastors. Go to church during Christmas and pass out some flyers.
Yep. Well, so I got to get going, but
all right.
So I just wanted to say real quick, the thing is getting all these people involved. We don't just, I mean, some people can just be involved on any level they want to be, but we need people to help out on a bigger level. So if you are social media savvy and you want to do some social media stuff, I would love for you to help out with the Republican Party, the official Republican Party social media. I'm not in control of that. Michael is. Maybe someday I will have more say in that. I don't know. But for right now, we have a PAC formed, a political action committee. It's called the Friends of Coos County Republicans. If you want to help out with that, I need help because I'm flooded with stuff to do and I can't give it the attention it needs. So if you want to help out with that, that would be a huge help. And you can show us your stuff and help grow the conservative movement. And then once the Republican Party is back up and running, I would imagine that you would probably be a really good candidate to do it for them as well. So we need that help. That's kind of like a communications thing. So it's not just like Facebook. You would probably help out with all sort of, email and communication. And then we need an events person. We've been doing the events kind of on the fly, like a group of people kind of just working on it. But it would be really cool to have like an actual person in charge of the events, like a go-to person. And then we also need a candidates chair, sort of a position. Diane was mentioning like she kind of wanted to do that, which is cool. But we're all spread thin. We're all doing everything, right? Diane's doing social media, events, and candidate selection and encouragement, and Rob's doing the same thing, and I'm doing the same thing. So we can't all do that, and we need point people, and we need people to help out with that. So message us if you have qualities and skills that can be useful. We would love to help just set you free and give you stuff to do that can help this movement.
Even cookies at the conservative coffee.
Yep. Or like anything. I mean, anything to help. And we're even here to help you. I know like Sarah makes sourdough. I watched a video of her, showing people how to make sourdough. If you want to come and like have a couple loaves and put them out for while we have coffee and sell them for, I don't know what they go for, like $15 a loaf or whatever it is, help you out. Like that's my envision of how this all works. Just having an environment where we can support each other, support conservative businesses, support conservative entrepreneurs, and then give people, maybe people have always been like, man, I think I'm pretty good at social media. Well, here's an opportunity for you to like actually do it in a professional setting and have a social media strategy, have a plan set up, and then see that plan through and see it work, see people engage with it, grow our Facebook group or whatever we have. So I don't know. That's we need help with that. We also need a chair, a vice chair, a secretary, a treasurer. This board needs to be flipped, and we need people to step up. My best solution for this big old mess would just be to wipe the whole slate clean and start over. So start thinking of that, people, because I think it's coming. So we need a whole new board elected.
Get me in as chair. First thing we'll get rid of the ex-chair is part of the board, and then I'll step down as the chair, and you can hire somebody to be the chair.
There you go.
Appoint somebody to be the chair. So
seriously though, this is an opportunity for people to really step up and to really get a whole new group of people in there who are laser focused on progress. And Denesa, please don't die. We need you.
I got the deli cough. The deli cough is bad.
Yeah.
Eesh.
Yeah. Traveling will, if you do a lot of traveling, sometimes you just get it like, right in the throat and then the mid chest, because it's just like sitting in a tube with recycled air for a couple of hours. Always do you a lot of good, especially when you're with 300.
I've been taking horse hounds.
Okay.
That's the only thing that's been keeping me from coughing a little bit. But
I grow that on my property.
Horsehound?
Yeah, and I
Wow.
make a tincture with whiskey. It's pretty good. It's nasty stuff to drink, but it works if you got a sore throat.
Doesn't sound appealing. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Horsehound.
Yeah, horsehound.
It's a pretty.
That doesn't count
potent
as a
plant.
curse word. I wasn't cursing there. I want everyone to be clear.
and I
No,
didn't
there's
know
no
what it
W.
was.
It's an
I was
H.
If I
didn't know
come
what
to
it
the
was.
conservative coffee hour, is that going to be in my coffee?
I think I've got some I can bring. Yeah, if you want
Okay.
it, I would. I mean, it's nasty. It's
I might show up
bad.
for the meeting for that. Heck,
Yeah.
we're gonna be drinking horsehound and whiskey.
I have to drink like a half a spoonful. It's so bad.
I'll fly my
But it
private
works.
jet up there. Can you pick me up at OTH? Yeah.
The funniest plant I've ever grown, it's actually called toothache plant, and
Okay.
it's a numbing plant. It's a pretty cool looking plant. But anyway, people look it up, and I grew that and made a tincture, and yeah, like it's like a tingling numb. So I used it on it. I had a really bad toothache, and you just dab it on there, and it numbs. So
Oh, nice. Yeah, and
Pretty
here,
interesting.
I'm so uneducated. I thought horsehound was like a hooker's poodle, so I don't know anything.
Hooker's poodle.
That's a good one.
oh gosh, now I'm definitely getting out of here.
Oh yeah. On that note,
And with
well,
that,
thanks,
let's
Chris.
talk about
Thank you for
free
joining
street
us. I
service.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for listening to all my explanations of where we stand and where we got to go. So we'll
All
do
right.
this one way or another. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. See ya.
And he's out of here. Denesa, you want to stay as we run through the commercials?
Yeah. I also wanted to say 3H has done a lot of work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope that he gets on his feet quickly and his timber tree topper guy gets better too, because I hear he's at
Yeah.
Riverbend.
Yeah.
But they did really good work and they're vital to our community. So I hope he gets on the mend quick.
Yeah, wasn't he
They-
getting some shoulder work done? Yeah, I thought he
Yeah.
was getting his shoulder work done.
Yeah, he got shoulder work done, but there was one of his guys had an accident. Denesa, I can't remember what happened to one of his guys.
I think he got in a car accident and ended up in Riverbend. Pretty bad accident.
You know, it's amazing. They do dangerous work, and this guy got hurt in a car accident because I mean they're 90 feet in the air with a whizzing buzzsaw.
Yeah, spinning blades of death
Yeah.
that could cut through your leg in a tenth of a second, and you're 90 feet up in the air, dangling on a thread basically, and he gets injured in a car accident. Wow, that would have been my last guess.
Well, I tell you, with these last windstorms that came through, there's a lot of debris down.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, people don't realize we do need these people, these kind of businesses thriving, to take care of debris. Plus, he's given me chips for my gardening, because he chips a lot of the limbs and stuff, and that's really helped my gardening. And he's given me free wood because he doesn't have a place to put it on landings all over the place. So, but people do use it for firewood, when he has windfalls and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. They do amazing work. Everyone that has ever used them, and especially anyone who's ever gotten their recommendation from this show, has called me or emailed me and told me what excellent service. My mother-in-law next door used them, and they did an excellent job of taking out. Basically, the guy behind us let his stuff overgrow her fence, and so they went behind there and just took it back about 2 or 3 feet. It was great, and it was a very cheap price, and he cleaned it up really good. Did a great job. They do a great job.
Is Tom and Gigs one of your people?
Sponsors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
there it
there.
is.
Guess what?
Tom and
Rich
Gigs.
called them today, and we're going to do some work with them after the first of the year.
He
Rich
was
needs-
busy.
Yeah, we're going to get a goose a gooseneck trailer. We got to get something in the back of a bed of a truck, and they do all that. So I didn't realize they did that stuff.
Oh yeah, he's really good at that. He's really good at the welding and putting those bumpers, real bumpers, not the crap we get today, real bumpers onto, and putting the winches on there and stuff. He does a great job of that.
And lifts. I hear he does a lot of lifts on trucks and all that too.
Yeah, he's really good at that. And they got a whole bunch of new stuff in. I went to go see him today and talk to him for a while, and the place was busy as all heck. It was just surrounded by cars. So I imagine he's out quite a bit ways before people get in. So if you got it after the first of the year, that sounds about right. But Tom and Gigs at 541-888-4660. You can reach him at and find him at 135 South Shoneman Street in Coos Bay in the Empire neighborhood, right behind the car wash. And they do excellent work here. They have the lift kits, performance accessories, and check this out. You're going to love this, Marty. New stuff.
Ooh. Fast and easy. Anyone can do powered by RC cars, but I'm not sure what the alias thing does.
That is a drone. He had some really cool drones.
Yeah, high performance quad rotor helicopter. Cool. That's a good looking drone. I want me one of them.
Yeah, that was a good looking drone. This car here was really, really cool. This is a new one they just got in, and they got a new truck, and they got a new boat.
Oh, nice.
And I believe this one's on sale. I believe this one is on sale, but end of the season sale.
The orange sticker.
And then we got a Herocopters. They still have the Herocopter. They have a new helicopter, the Volatar.
Oh, nice.
What is that, a nautical word? I mean, is that an aviation word?
What, Volatar?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Volatarks? Is that an X at the end of that? What the hell is that word?
I think it's just a marketing name somebody came up with, because Herocopter was already used.
Oh, well, here's another Herocopter, but it's the military edition. So you can get a couple of the military ones, and you can get a couple of the police ones, and do battle out in the sky with your.
Yeah, I wonder if you could load those little tubes that look like rocket launchers with tannerite.
And they do have tannerite. They do have tannerite. They also have mini cars.
And speaking of tannerite, here
you have to be 18 or older, and I forgot to get a picture of tannerite because the sale was off on the tannerite. So yeah. Herbal choices, cannabis. I've abstained tonight. I've abstained from the marijuana or the alcohol, and so I will be, though, pushing the herbal choices, because they are, if you are someone who participates in that, who partakes, herbal choices, cannabis. The herbalchoices.com website is where you can find all of this. And remember, it is a drug, folks. Keep out of the reach of children. Do not operate heavy equipment, and do not drive while under the influence of this substance. And you must be 21 years or older to purchase this. And remember, they have 5 locations: one in Charleston, one in Coos Bay, one in Bandon, one in Retort, and one in North Bend.
Yeah.
Didn't Trump just sign something, some kind of order about marijuana?
You know, he sure did. In fact, Trump basically just legalized weed, didn't he?
Well, he made it. I think he turned it down to like a Schedule 3, which basically means, it's no longer the like Schedule 1 where it's like, heroin or, stuff like that, where it's like really, really bad things will happen to you if you're, selling this stuff. I think it moved down to Schedule 3, but I haven't really looked at it because, Oregon has been, pot legal for so long. I'm like, if Trump changed the law, I'm like, well, it doesn't affect me. So I got other things I could be reading right now.
I actually bought quite a bit of stuff. Well, I didn't. I had someone buy it for me. The roll-on stuff for Oh, it's for numbing and stuff of sore spots like knees and hips and that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, when I know I'm going to be doing heavy yard work, especially in the summertime, those gummies with the CBDs in it, really good stuff. I believe the THC has to accompany the CBDs for it to work to its optimal level, but I do believe those CBDs do incredible things for your joints. And I'm not talking about the joints you roll. I'm talking about the joints inside our bodies, our elbows, our knees, our ankles. And I can really move a lot better when I use that for doing heavy work. But it says Trump signs order to ease U.S. marijuana regulations, sparking industry hopes. And this is from Reuters. Says reclassification could reshape cannabis industry, ease penalties, challenges remains for broad acceptance, banking access. Some Republicans opposed to Trump's move. Washington, December 18th, U.S. President Donald Trump on Thursday signed an order directing the loosening of federal regulations on marijuana, a move that could further reverse decades of tough on weed policy. Trump's order instructs the Attorney General to quickly move ahead with reclassification of marijuana. If that happens, the psychoactive plant would be listed alongside common painkillers, ketamine, and testosterone as a less dangerous drug. And so such a decision would represent one of the most significant federal changes to marijuana policy in decades. And I told people years and years ago that if marijuana was to be legalized or reclassified, it would be under a Republican president. And at the time I said that, I was working for a Republican governor, Gary Johnson, who was working for the legalization of marijuana.
Well, you would think, I thought Clinton really partaked in this stuff too.
Well, he did, and so did Obama, but they're not going to do it because they made money off of it. They didn't realize that people didn't realize how much money the politicians were making off of this. They made a lot of money, especially Biden during the 90s with his tough on crime laws. Remember, they had a race on who could put out the toughest crime bill on drugs and especially marijuana. And it got bad there for a while. Anything, Marty?
No, I was just wondering what's the deal with the floaty shoes on the right thing, though.
What? Oh, wow.
Can you walk on water? If you can walk on water, you've smoked too much pot.
Maybe that's the side effect of oh, nope, I hit it. It changed. Okay.
Yeah. Here, the 23, the coolest whatever's. Okay. So
well, that's going to help his business, right? Is it going to help our Herbal Choices business by freeing up things a little bit?
Well, the thing is that I don't know, because it's still left in question banking access. And the real problem that anyone has in the business is being able to get loans because they're federally insured, or work through banks because they're federally insured. That's been a problem. So they have to use cash. It's an all cash industry. And that's why they have money machines inside the stores when you go in there, because people have to use their cards because they don't realize it's an all cash business. And it affects other businesses such as the coffee roasting business. We were looking into getting some THC induced or infused. I'm sorry, that's the proper term. THC infused coffee. And we were going to produce that, but our loans for our business or our building was through federally protected loans. And so we were going to have problems with that. And so it actually affected a lot of people who, weren't pretty much, if you weren't paying out of pocket using cash, you were screwed.
Well, you'd think, I mean, you'd get a bigger tax base if it was approved, so you wouldn't be dealing in cash all the time.
Sure would.
Yep. So maybe Trump's thinking ahead.
Yeah. And that money, which now goes to the cities, a good portion of that money goes to the cities because most of the stores that sell this product that's taxed, the pot that's taxed, since it's inside the city limits, the city gets the tax money and the county doesn't. But what people don't realize is that the county is the one who pays for the jail. The cities, they contribute a little bit, but not nearly as much as they should. And now they're getting the pot money to pay for their police, but none of that money's flowing to the sheriff's department. And I think that they're going to have to look at charging the cities a little bit more money for taking care of the jail. And that's something they should have looked at when they had to close it down to the one pot anyway. You there,
Okay, so
Vanessa?
do we have any more ads?
No, that was it.
Cool.
Oh, wait. No, we had more ads. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Abstinence. So I was mentioning I abstained, and I'm recommending that everyone who is guilty of too much vice, if you have too much vice, the easiest thing to do is abstain. And I'm selling abstinence now. I sell it in little bottles and little boxes, however you want to receive it. Just send me a check and I'll send you some abstinence. Okay. This has not been approved by the federal government yet, but I'm willing to
take a lot of abstinence. I need like a 55-gallon drum. Can you do like the Costco thing where I can just get a pallet of it?
Yeah, I'll send you a pallet. I'll send you an invoice with that pallet. It's pretty expensive stuff, but
is this a real thing, or am I just naive?
No, I got accused of peddling pot, which I guess it's true. I am kind of peddling pot here, but I also wanted to give another alternative for people who may not want or may not be, who do not choose to partake in smoking pot or other vices.
I'm one of those people, but I didn't know abstinence. Is that sex or is that drugs? What is it?
Abstinence is about anything. It's about abstaining. It comes from the word abstain, and anyone can abstain from anything at any time. And I think that's the problem with society. Everyone talks about how they're addicted to this and addicted to that. Well, that's just an excuse for your bad habits. People can choose not to have bad habits. And how do you do that? Abstinence. You just abstain from doing it.
Okay. So it's not a real product then. It's a state
well,
of
if
being.
You want to buy it, lady, I will sell you some abstinence.
we'll make you a pretty package. How much you want to pay for it?
How about food abstinence? How's that?
Yep, that would be one. Gluttony. So this is something I kind of based off the 7 deadly sins. What is it? Gluttony, lust. I forget the others, but there's 7 of them. And so people, they like to blame all kinds of things for their bad choices. And the fact is that we should just learn to abstain and not be for quick gratification. And that's the problem with this country, quick gratification.
Okay, I'm not buying it then. Okay.
All right. I won't sell it to you then. Just forget it.
Fine then. Be that way. Here I was trying to buy it in bulk. I'm like, I need more of that.
Yeah, anyway, don't ruin it for Barty. We've got a huge deal coming up.
Envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth. So pride,
gluttony, and sloth. Okay, I could be accused of gluttony and sloth. I can be real lazy sometimes, and I can be a pig sometimes. Boy, at 2 a.m, I'll wake up, and all of a sudden I just have the munchies. Maybe it's because I smoke pot on occasions. But I'll wake up in the morning, 2 a.m, and I'll go out and I'll eat a whole roll of Oreos or something. So gluttony is one of those. And isn't there an old expression, an old Chinese expression, if you suffer gluttony, don't eat at the table of your enemies?
I haven't heard that one, but it makes sense.
Genghis Khan. That was a Genghis Khan quote. If you suffer gluttony, don't eat at the table of your enemies.
Okay.
Oregon Firearms Federation. For all of you who want to join a gun group who's still kicking ass, and they are kicking ass today, and that's Oregon Firearms Federation, the only no compromise gun group in Oregon. And I recommend you get their newsletter if you haven't gotten their newsletter, OregonFirearms.org, because he just put out another one where he talks about all the great things that are happening right now in Oregon. It very rarely happens, but he had something good to talk about. And if you want to find out, go to OregonFirearms.org and sign up for his newsletter. And if you want to hone in your firearm skills, go to Bandon Gun Club, and you can find out more at bandongunclub.org, or you can find out at Tioga Sports Park about their rifle range, their 100-yard rifle range, where you can go shooting, sight in your telescope. You can find out about that at TiogaSportsPark.org. I got to go shoot with Kyle Rittenhouse at Tioga Sports Park.
Do you think that a lot of the people that didn't get in as PCPs, that they didn't want them in because they're strong on First and Second Amendment?
You know, I'm not even sure why, because I don't even know some of the people who are running for PCPs. Chris knows them all. He's emailed them. So I don't even know why some of them didn't make it, because if I don't even know them, how do they know them or don't know them, you know?
Yeah. Well, I thought maybe they're just really strong on the Second Amendment or something like that.
But how would they know that, though?
Yeah. They're just names on a blank piece of paper at that point.
Maybe they're too manly. I don't know.
Well, that's why they didn't want me there. I'm too manly. I'm too mucho macho for them. And
when you're a gun packing person, and that's why they're intimidated by you.
Marty, I tried to grow sideburns, and they're all gray, so you can't see the sideburns anymore. It doesn't do the Elvis effect.
I trimmed the gray out of my sideburns this afternoon and kind of got rid of the whole beard thing. So, because I was looking at it going, I was walking through some place and they had like a full length mirror at the end of an aisle, and I caught my reflection, and I went, oh, that's not even close to what I think I look like. So yeah.
Yeah, that's why, a current prescription for glasses isn't always good.
Yeah, I know.
So Denesa, do you have a neighborhood watch in your area?
Well, I think my husband is, because he likes to put on a sheriff badge and drive around all our properties and make sure there's no one poaching on our place. He makes sure that if there's anyone parked on the side of the road camping, he'll have a little talk with them and tell him he's calling the sheriff's department. He kind of does it on his own. I mean, people need to step up and be aware of the garbage, the debris, the people coming in their areas close to their homes. So he's his own neighborhood watch in our area.
That's cool. And Rich reminds me of one of those old Texas farmers that, you'd be parked out on their land trying to make it out with your girlfriend, and they catch you there. What are you doing there, boy? Rich reminds me of one of those old guys who would chase you off their property.
Yeah, I just packing a shotgun when you're getting out of the car makes you want to think about taking off and not being there.
So those guys would actually, back in the day, they would shoot them off, and you would run. Unless you were in the car, you would take off in the car. But yeah, you would. We were not supposed to be on the farmer's land. I forget where we were, in grandma's, and there was a guy that we always loved crossing over his property to get to the river. Actually, it was the lake, Arlington Lake, that we wanted to get to the spot because it was easier to go across his land instead of walking around. And boy, he'd come out and he'd shoot off a couple of rounds, and nothing gets you moving faster than, hearing buckshot coming your way.
Well, he has a full roll of no trespassing signs in his truck at all time with a staple gun. So anytime those signs get ripped down, he's right back on it. So you got to post it to be able to enforce it.
That's cool. That's very cool. Very, very cool. And of course, Coos County Citizen Council. You know, there's a young man who does this. His name is Chris Castleman, and I think we are very lucky in this county that he moved here because he is quite the firebrand. And I tell you what, we've been very lucky that he showed up. I think things wouldn't have gone as well and has been exciting. Wouldn't be as exciting if he wasn't here. Wouldn't you agree with that, both of you?
Why, yes, I would.
He's brilliant. He has a way of memorizing bylaws like no other. He knows Robert's rules like the back of his hand. And so when he's talking from a position of authority to idiots that don't know, they don't know because they've not committed to memory what things that they should be abiding by. So yeah, he's brilliant, and I am honored to have him in this lawsuit because he documents like crazy.
Yeah.
He does not let the bones sit on the ground. He's making sure that if something's sent out or something's not happening, he's documenting it. And when you're in legal things going on in a legal battle, document. And the thing is he's not just in it for the lawsuit. He didn't want to be in the lawsuit because he doesn't like tying things up in litigation, but we had no other recourse. They put us in a situation. They weren't listening to us, and our party wasn't moving forward. So he's brilliant. I'm telling you, he's capable of so much, and unfortunately it's being tied up in a lot of well, I'm going to just say the abbreviation BS, because this shouldn't be happening at all. But he's brilliant, and I'm honored to be his friend.
I am honored to be his friend too. And we really, all of us coming together at this time and place, we have really made one hell of a team. And like you said, Chris is amazing how he retains what he reads in these bylaws and is able to then regurgitate that right back to people when they get it wrong. And I'm pretty good at it, but he is excellent at it. It's just he has just got a natural gift for it.
He's 3 levels higher than anyone we have on the executive committee.
Yep. Until Marty gets there and changes everything.
Oh no, Marty's brilliant. He's brilliant because I've seen him working his computer, crunching numbers on anything from voter rolls to campaign financing stuff. So I've worked with him on that, and we all have our talents. Some people are communicators, some people aren't, but mine is just I guess it's perseverance. I guess I don't know. But
follow through is very important. Yes. Perseverance. You know, that's what was one of the 7 sloth was one of the 7 deadly sins. Yeah. So perseverance is the opposite of sloth, kind of, you know, in a way, I guess. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
well,
sure.
I never back away from a fight, especially on a conviction basis. So that's the big one. And Chris, he doesn't like to lose because when he knows he's right, he's right.
Yeah. And in this case, you guys were right. You're still right. Anyone who thinks that this is just hyperbolic nonsense, please go listen to my Rumble page. Go there and listen to the audio of the trial. Denesa, you've heard the audio, haven't you?
You want to know the honest truth? I
Sure.
haven't. I've seen it was there. I just didn't have time to do it yet because I've been on jet lag. It was 13 and a half hours differential, and I'm still.
That's brutal.
It's
Yeah.
brutal. It's like takes 6 days to get back into some rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
And I came back to a lot of problems. I'm having to hire another attorney for a bully problem. So
Oh no.
being an employer is not all that it's cracked up to be. So so today was doing that, and plus getting ready for Christmas. You know, we've got a lot to do between now and Christmas time. So
Yeah. we
I
sure
will
do.
listen to it. I just need to go find out where it was at again. Is it on YouTube?
I'll send you a link. I'll just send you a link.
If you'll send me a link, I will listen to the whole thing. And I did get the gist of it because I talked to a couple people when I was in Delhi. I talked to some people about what happened, and Daria was mad that I wasn't there because I was told that I didn't need to, and I was really shocked that they put so many people on the stand.
Yeah, I was
in a
surprised.
non-trial situation.
Yeah, it was just a hearing. It was just a hearing, and I was surprised. He pointed to me and said, "You're next," and I'm like, okay."
Yeah, well, it was great in the sense. Jonkis is really he's brilliant too, because what happened is people turned in their declarations. So what he did is he got people that didn't turn in declarations to come and testify at the stand. So it was like another layer of people that said the same things, that they weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. So he did it in a written form and then in an oral form to the judge, but with different people.
Yeah, and with Brainerd not having someone there to represent him, which was a huge mistake on his part, Jonkis was able, every time he claimed to have evidence, and I'll give you an example. He said Carol, she was basically lying about, she was lying about getting the email and opening it up because they had proof of it, and then come find out that proof wasn't proof at all. It didn't say Carol opened the email at all. And even if it did, you wouldn't even know if it was Carol or not. So they couldn't even admit it as evidence. And he did this several times with a couple of things that he tried to submit and was wrong. He was just making up stuff.
Yeah, I mean, even if Carol received the email and opened it, there's no proof that it was her that opened it, and there's no proof that she actually read it. My email browser, I have like 4 or 5 different email clients running at once, and it'll be, I'll go through the list and it'll be like, yeah, I'm not reading that. But in the process of going through the headers, it opens the file as I throw it in the trash can. So yeah, it was open, but did I read it? No. So I mean, and even there's not many mechanisms in place that prove that somebody read an email. So
well, and the question was whether she received it or not, and they couldn't even prove that she received it or not, much less any further than that.
Yeah. Yeah, so he would have to have the mail server logs for her mail service.
Right.
It's like, okay, produce the logs. Oh, I don't have them. Well, then you lied. Moving on.
And he was the one that introduced and said we need constant contact to be able to email and text everyone. And we paid for that as a subscription for the CCRCC.
Yeah.
And the really crappy part is I heard Schilling say that all he has is about 300 contacts for the whole state, for the whole county.
Wow.
And it's like, are you kidding me?
Out of 17,000 Republicans and 22,000 NAVs, you've got.
And
300.
as long as he's been the chair and everything, and not have that kind of contacts.
So we have gathered at least that much in the last however long we've been at the headquarters and doing pop-ups and collecting names, we have now at least a couple of hundred people who are listed as people wanting to receive the newsletter. And that's on top of the list we already had, which was a couple hundred people. And then I have quite a large list myself that I send out to on a regular basis. And so we have the names of the activists in this county. And for him to only have just less than a couple of 300 or less people, that's pathetic. That's really pathetic.
It kind of gets the idea that he's a rhino and he's doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
He should know all the businesses that are conservative minded in our area for fundraising purposes. And I mean, what do we have? 17 or 16,000 registered Republicans, and he's only got 300 contacts. Are you kidding me?
Well, if you don't want to grow the party and you don't want to have anyone getting in your way of your votes, then you close it down to as few PCPs as you can. And is this true? Was he taking credit for the 150 PCPs that Terry Greer?
Okay. I was told not to be argumentative, and I could have sat there and refuted him every time, which that's kind of my personality sometimes.
Yeah.
I just had to bite my mouth because, I mean, I know he didn't do that work. It was Terry Greer that did that work.
Right.
And he's taking credit for it because, I mean, he's in power as the CD4 chair because I've done so much. I've done this. I've been in the chair. I've helped get money on the finance side for the state ORP. I hate when people take credit from that on the backs of other people. I mean,
yeah, especially Terry. Terry worked her butt off to do what she did for this part. Remember that beautiful headquarters she got for us
there at Bunker Hill?
Yeah. No. The one that was downtown. It was the 2-story. It was the Pembina.
Oh, the bank.
Yeah, the bank.
Oh yeah, that was really nice.
That was a beautiful place, and it had offices in the back, and it had a huge bottom floor so that you could have meetings with several people. I mean, a lot of people, and so she did a lot for this party, and for anyone to take credit,
they trashed her too in her campaign, which was sad. She should have won.
Yep, hands down, and also unfortunately she took the advice from some of the political strategists that they had sent down from the top. That was the other problem. They tried to water her down too much. But they really trashed her. Kathy McEwen went after her like nobody's business. I remember going to the debates with Terry, and they were dirty. They played some dirty politics. Well, guys, is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
It's 3 hours and 7 minutes into it. I think I'm pretty much done.
I think I'm pretty much done. How about you, Denesa? Well, I guess she's done. Later.
And with that.
And with that, I'll talk. I'll see you. Well, I won't see you for a while until next Friday, maybe. What's next Friday? Next Friday isn't Christmas. When's Christmas?
Christmas is next Thursday, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
So next Friday is the day after Christmas, so that'll be the day after Christmas.
I don't think I'm going to have a rant.
Okay,
no rant.
Sounds good to me. No
rant next Friday. I'm going to be celebrating baby Jesus.
Yeah, I was going to say let baby Jesus sleep in. No ranting on the day after Christmas. Because
no ranting on. Yeah, let baby Jesus sleep in. That's what we're going to do because
I got to atone for all my gluttony because I'll be eating like a pig all Christmas Day. So.
Yeah, that gluttony thing really gets me. I mean, especially when I go to restaurants that I really like, that gluttony gets me every damn time. So, but
yeah, Abstinence is called off for the next, for Christmas.
Yeah. So no abstinence, well, maybe a little drinking where the relatives might be around. So I don't want to do too much drinking. I get a little too, that filter goes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now I'm the funniest person in the world. Unfortunately, nobody understands my jokes. So.
Oh, I think she's back. Can't work her phone, Denesa. Are you there?
Yep.
Now your speaker's lousy and there's no picture.
I'm just technically inept. I'm sorry. You can do a whole comedy just on Denesa's unable to work her phone or computer.
How did you do that? You were doing so well.
I know. It was working so well earlier.
No. I'm tired of this phone. I'm about ready to throw it out the door.
No.
Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for having me on, and I'm sorry that I feel like I'm in a fish tank right now. But just, Merry Christmas to all you guys, and thank you for being my friends and keeping the fight going to make sure that we do have liberty and we have fairness in our communities. And I wish you a peaceful holiday time, and we'll get right back in it hard in January.
You got it. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, Denesa.
Yep. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Denesa, and to your whole family and all those around you.
All right. I'll talk to you all later. And until next time, folks, carry on, Coos County. Carry on.